Friday at the Players Championship. By the way, if you haven't registered for that and chance to win, you got to do it by the weekend, by Monday, actually. So late Sunday night, ESPN690.com, and I'll dress you for the Players Championship. Now, what is better than that? There's no way I could dress Austin Lane.
No, don't even try, man.
You look like you've been in the woods in Georgia.
Oh, hey,
a little bit.
so this is called Iola chic right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, little plaid going on, little jeans. I mean, listen, everyone's got to have your favorite hoodie. You're not even wearing a hoodie today?
No, not
Dude,
today.
This is prime hoodie weather, man.
It is. Well,
Break out the favorite
I've got
hoodie.
my fleece over there.
Yeah, and listen, I mean, this is Old Navy, so I'm not sure. That's probably not a real animal. If it was, thank you for your sacrifice, because this thing is so comfortable, man.
PETA on line one.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I'm in sweatpants today. This is outstanding.
I see you, man.
I did a little baseball clinic this morning, and I was like, I brought jeans. I'm coming to the Monster Jam.
Yeah.
I can wear sweatpants. There's dirt everywhere.
You better believe it.
Now, we tried to get a little bit closer to the action, but they have some restrictions, so hopefully you'll be able to see it. I'm going to try to light it up a little bit better as we go along. And actually, the camera might have just gone out as I'm looking at it. So we'll get the camera up and running as we're trying. We got like 6 power outlets right over here. None of them work.
Sure.
So we'll chase that in just a moment. But we are live at the Monster Jam here at TIAA Bank. Not too many times you go to the bank without football. But this is one of them. They'll have a huge crowd here tomorrow night. You'll be here.
I'm going to be here, man. Obviously, my son is a diehard Monster Jam junkie, so we have to appease him. It was his birthday a couple days ago, so the whole family's coming out here for Monster Jam, and thankfully it's going to be a little cooler because a couple years ago when we came here, it was like 95 degrees, just sweltering, and of course we're here for like 4 hours. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to tomorrow a little bit. And actually this weekend too is one of my favorite events in all of Jacksonville, Brent. Can you guess what it is?
No.
Taste of the Nation. Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't get enough of that.
Yeah,
it's awesome, man. Taste of the Nation. So I'm excited to go to that too. We're going to bring the family to that as well.
Awesome. Hey, Kuz, throw that logo up if you got one instead of the video, because it's going to be a little bit, or it's just going to be a black hole on the video feeds, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So we'll get the video working. Again, I have a little bit of an issue with the power outlets. There is a slogan hidden in there here in Jagsland about the
There
power.
always is.
Probably, certainly could be the case. So, anyway, hey, going to talk a lot of football today. We have a topic we've been wanting to get to for a little bit.
Sure.
And we will do it. And it's kind of broad. We obviously celebrated the greatness of Corky Rogers yesterday as he passed on Wednesday night. There was a coach in the state of Florida that recently won a state championship and has since been fired because of the way he celebrated the state championship with his team.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about anything like alcohol or anything like that. We're talking about language. And that's made its rounds a little bit. We just haven't really had a chance to get to it just yet. So I want to talk a little bit about that. We also, the Combine, again, I can't get into it, man. I tried. I just – the 4.4 now is like getting a 4.0 in school. I mean, everybody does it.
Yeah, I hear you, especially being in skill position.
Yeah.
Right?
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
4.4 is what I mean. Listen, 4.27 is impressive. 4.4 is
Very
impressive. And I'm not trying to dilute
well,
it a little bit. But
if you're like a defensive lineman, 4.4, we'll take that all day. But being a wide receiver, 4.4, it's just kind of like, yeah.
But so what we wanted to get into is we also posed this question. We've had a lot going on this week, and what would you ask guys at the Combine? So like if you were building a team, but I want to take it a step further.
Okay.
Not only what would you ask guys if you were interviewing them, but what would your character traits of a player on your football team look like? Mm-hmm. Now listen, it's not going to be cookie cutter. It's not always going to be the same.
It can because you have to take risks.
But yes, where would you kind of waver from some of those? And so we're going to give you ours. Like we all like to be the smartest people about building the Jags and criticizing the Jags for not being able to figure it out or praise or criticize other teams. What would your player look like? What would he have in terms of qualities that you think are good to build your football team, culture, all those things that go into it? And remember, you got to find 53 of these guys to fit together like a nice puzzle piece, which is really one of the hard things to do in sports. So we will discuss that as well, along with a little bit of Monster Jam. We got some ballin' and fallin' coming up. We've got high school girls soccer state championships, and I was just setting up, so I don't know if it went final, and I'm pretty sure it has by now. I think Ponte Vedra came up just a bit short in the state championship game. But tonight also Bartram Trail has a chance to try to win a state championship. So we will keep you posted on the high school front. There's boys basketball tonight. It's a good time. All the winter sports are coming to an end. Soccer fell 2-0. Marcel Robinson will check in from down there in DeLand on that And then all the spring sports are starting up. So we got a little touch of everything here on a Friday edition of Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. I thought Kuz brought up a fun little topic as well. How much room will there be for whoever gets the starting job in Jacksonville? If it's Minshew, like we think it might be, how much wiggle room will there be for him? And how careful do you have to be? And where does that ace lie in the pocket? And how quick will Doug Marrone go to it as, okay, save our season? Yeah. Because there will be that option most likely, whether it's Foles or Minshew, because I believe both will be on this roster.
So, once again, I think that if you have to go with the ace in your pocket, if you have to bring in a backup quarterback, set aside from an injury, obviously, or a catastrophe such as that, I feel like if you bring in the backup quarterback, your season's probably already going to be over. So from that perspective, assuming that Gardner Minshew starts, going into a second year, I think you have to be pot committed now on Gardner Minshew. Now, obviously, that starts with the draft and it starts with free agency because you have to give the pieces around him for him to succeed. And if you do that and you cultivate his talent, well, then you have to roll with him no matter what. And that's to say maybe he's going to have some up and down games, right? Maybe that's some of those Houston games that we saw last year a little bit. But I think at the end of the day, you have to be pot committed now to Gardner Minshew just because the analytics and obviously his age and just the future going forward, which is so ironic because Doug Marrone, Dave Caldwell are playing for the now, but you also have to keep the future in mind just as much. So I think he's going to have a pretty long leash if he is indeed the starter.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. I think people will vary on the opinion of that. I think so many people believe Gardner Minshew will be the starting quarterback. Is it totally out of the realm for the Jags to make a move with Foles? And where does it make sense and not make sense because of the dollars that are on there, which I think essentially would save you about $3 million if you do all the math. So does that even make a lot of sense, or is it better? Like, I asked that question like last week. Is it, if you were Marrone, would you want Foles? Would you want this quarterback situation? And so many people said, no, get rid of him. I don't know if they're thinking right on that. I really don't. I don't agree. If my job's on the line, I want whatever I can get at that position that I would be confident in. And I think, while the fan base is so high on Minshew and has no confidence in Foles, I don't think that's the football circle view of Foles. I think you're going to have people ask about Nick Foles even in the next couple of weeks. I think if you ask these guys in here, I think they're going to let him battle it out a little bit, even though they're leaning one way would be my guess. And I think they're going to say, hey, we like this this isn't a bad guy to have in our back pocket. So I disagree with the fans there. I understand what they're saying about Minshew, but if my job was on the line, and you're talking about the most important position in sports, and I got a guy that either could get hurt, could struggle out of the gates, and I got a chance to go to somebody else that's been around before and has proven that he can win football games in the league, and people respect in the locker room, I don't know, man. I'd much rather go with Nick Foles in that situation than I would Joshua Dobbs.
Well, and listen, injuries are going to happen. They're part of the game. But if I'm Doug Marrone, because this really comes down to his decision, right? He's the head coach, and eventually he's going to pull the trigger on who's going to be the starting quarterback. And I think that if for some miraculous way you're able to trade Nick Foles, maybe get some draft capital, maybe get a different player to help Gardner Minshew out, I think that would be the prime case scenario because now, Brent, like you said, if you're on your way out and you have 1 year to make a great first impression and, to make a last impression and say that it doesn't go your way, well, then you're going to have regret, right? So, for instance, if you start Gardner Minshew doesn't give you what you need, you bring in Nick Foles, maybe you go 8-8, obviously you're probably still going to get let go because, at this point I think you have to contend for the division. So, with that being said, I feel like if Nick Foles wasn't even an option, well, it makes your job pretty easy, right? Where, as opposed to if you have Nick Foles sitting on the bench, well, then you're always going to be second-guessing yourself. Oh, man, Minshew's struggling this game. Should I put Foles in? So, to me, it just makes the choice easier. And then, once again, if you can somehow miraculously trade Nick Foles and get some capital for him, well, then you can use that capital to try to build around Gardner Minshew as well.
Yeah, we'll talk more about it. We'll talk about what kind of makeup you would have in a player. We also talk some bigger issues, this high school sports situation that I'd like to get to here today. And maybe a little MMA minute.
Let's get it, man. Let's get it.
Got some news around the MMA, I think. And your fight is a week away.
Week away. Officially
I got to find out what kind of shape you're in, where my money's going.
Oh, I'm in shape, man. Don't worry about me, man. I'm in shape.
So you looked the part today, man.
Oh, yeah. So, well, trust me, I feel the part, too. We had some pretty hard sparring. We actually had to drive to Georgia last night.
Really?
good old 2-hour excursion. Went to Georgia, get some good sparring in. So, yeah, it was a good time, man.
They punch
Long
harder
night.
in Georgia or something?
I'm sorry?
They punch harder in Georgia?
Well, no, so like there's this kid by the name of Clay Apple Pie Jackson, and he's a heavyweight. He's about 6'3", probably 270, but he's also a southpaw, and I'm facing a southpaw next Friday. So
you're like Bill Belichick bringing in a left-footed punter.
Of course, man. Of course. You have to get all the looks possible. So shout out to Clay Jackson, man, for giving me some sparring last night.
Absolutely. And by the way, hey, guys, how do you think it would sound? Brent Apple Pie Martineau. I like that name, man.
It's not bad, right?
That's a pretty good nickname.
Yeah,
I kind of like that.
I'm not mad at that. Not mad at that.
Sweet and tasty.
Chock full of sugar.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah.
I weighed in today. It must be true. More of that coming up. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Jump in the conversation if you'd like. 904-362-9901. And we are live at TIAA Bank Monster Jam tomorrow night. I want to go ride one of these things. Drive it. Flip it. Let's do it. We're coming back next.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Breezy and cool, but with lots of sun today. The afternoon high in the low to mid 60s. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jacks from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where for a limited time,
0% financing store-wide.
Find out more at beardsdiamonds.com. Luxury begins at the door of Atlantic Infinity with your concierge, no-pressure customer experience.
Only one Atlantic Infinity.
Experience the wave of luxury in person at 10980 Atlantic Boulevard or at atlanticinfinity.com. It's a leap year, so leap into savings now at your neighborhood Ace. Wild Delight Birdseed, your choice of 3 blends, just $9.99 each. In colder weather, high-energy suet is an especially good bird food, now 69 cents per packet at Ace. Fertilome Weed and Feed for St. Augustine grass, just $19.99 per bag. For fertilizers, garden soil, potting mix, mulch, and more, shop your nearby Ace Hardware. Find great deals and the location nearest you at acehardware.com. Sale ends March 2nd.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
It's happening, people. Our friends at Arlington Toyota are getting a brand new state-of-the-art showroom. And that means the old stuff is coming down, and so are Arlington's prices. I'm talking up to 50% less on remaining 2019s and even 2020 models. How about a 2019 Toyota 4Runner? It's not $31,755. Now it's only $26,991. That's $26,991 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota 4Runner at Arlington. How about a 2019 Toyota Camry? It's not $19,745. No. Now it's just $16,291. Just $16,291 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota Camry at Arlington. Plus, you get the Arlington Toyota $5,000 Advantage Club, which includes a lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles with your purchase. Construction is underway, and prices are coming down at Arlington Toyota. So get in today and pay up to 50% less on remaining 2019s and even 2020s. 10939 Atlantic Boulevard and online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/construction sale for offer details.
It's the home of the Action Sports Jacks Dream 18, and it can be your home course as well. The Golf Club at Southampton in North St. Johns County, located off County Road 210, family owned and operated, and a fun course to play. The Golf Club at Southampton offers club membership programs starting at just $79. With its elite practice facility and player-friendly golf course design, it will be your gateway to a great time with the family or with your buddies. Become a member in 2020. For more information, call the Golf Club at Southampton at 904-287-PLAY.
The NHRA Mellow Yellow Drag Racing Series is headed to Gainesville Raceway for the Emily Motor Oil NHRA Gator Nationals, March 12th through 15th. Kids 12 and under are free in general admission. Get tickets early and save at NHRA.com.
Being in the Army National Guard is about more than serving your country. It's about being there for your community when your neighbors need you most. The Army National Guard makes college affordable, and serving part-time can help you graduate debt-free. Do you want to stay close to friends and family? The Guard allows you to serve close to home. Serving part-time in the Army National Guard lets you have the life you want. Learn more by visiting nationalguard.com.
Sponsored by the Florida Army National Guard. Aired by the Florida Association of Broadcasters and this station.
I sat there and I went, all right, this is why people flirt with taking Chase Young #1 overall. Because the Saints, in a lot of instances, were doing everything right. and you can do everything right, and then you can have one or two of those absolute, tank busters.
Golic and Wingo, weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. on ESPN 690.
Now, back to Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 and on your smart speaker.
They'll be able to help me, obviously, in the seat I'm in. They understand what's going on. I think those coaches that are like Jay or Ben, they've dealt with a lot of players, a lot of different people. So, dealt with a lot of coaches, managed a lot of people. So I think, those things are always going to help you if you handle things, the right way, which both of them did. And then, for me, it was just a matter of, hey, listen, what do these guys want to do? They want to win for Jacksonville. They want to win for us right here. That's their whole focus and their whole goal.
That's Doug Marrone talking about the hires of Jay Gruden and Ben McAdoo. Interesting with all the coaching experience, and so many people have put it in place. Like we talked to J.P. Finley from the Redskins at the Combine, that, hey, Jay Gruden, landing spot potentially, job inside. You got a chance at a job, the interim coach if something goes wrong. I think absolutely those things are in play. But I think there's a bigger – Doug Marrone was making these decisions. Why? Why did he go with – head coaching experience in this situation, do you think? I mean, does it carry some value outside of a guy being a good play caller?
Yeah.
Or McAdoo having success with Green Bay? There's got to be something more to it. There's a lot of good play callers or guys with resumes as play callers, but these guys had head coaching experience that had to be part of it.
So let's be honest. If you're a head coach, a current head coach, or a former head coach, that means that you have some pretty good knowledge of football, right? Because they don't just hire anybody for that position. So I think if you look at Ben McAdoo, obviously, had a stint in New York. Aaron Rodgers speaks very highly of him. Obviously, Ben McAdoo is being brought in my opinion at least, to help cultivate Gardner Minshew, right? And I think with Ben McAdoo, who's been there in Green Bay when it was Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, so he knows how the quarterback room operates. And granted, and I talked about it yesterday a little bit, Brent, when you were shooting the video, I mean, he did make a mistake when he started Geno Smith over Eli Manning, and that eventually cost him his job. So he's had the ups and he's had the downs in terms of how to manage a quarterback room. But one would think now that he's been brought in to help Gardner Minshew. Then obviously with Gruden, who's been a head coach himself, really just an offensive-minded kind of guy, and that's kind of what Jacksonville needs. We were all excited with John DeFilippo and everything. All of a sudden the red zone offense presents itself, and it's atrocious. So I think from the standpoint of kind of hiring that household name and offensive coordinator, a guy who's got a lot of experience calling plays, you have to like that for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, I think there's something I like about it from a settling standpoint, a stability standpoint. Guys that have been in that spot before, and they know the spot that Doug Marrone is in. That they are familiar with it. They've been there before, and so they can feel for him and help make it happen for him. So we'll see if it helps. I don't know if it's a big difference maker. Obviously, at the end of the day, you need the mesh and the chemistry, and those guys will be on the same page. And I do like the fact, and still like the fact, that it will be Gardner Minshew and Jay Gruden potentially.
Sure.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm doing like three things at once.
No,
I'm
you're
sorry,
good, man.
I'm trying to spit out a sentence.
No,
I need power. All right?
Well,
I need power.
Keep in mind, too, essentially for the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach spots, this is kind of like an addition, right? Because the Jaguars last year were kind of atrocious on offense. If Ben McAdoo can come in this year, turn it around, and obviously have stellar play from Gardner Minshew, well, that helps his, whole thing out. And all of a sudden, people are talking about Ben McAdoo as maybe another offensive coordinator someplace else. And obviously with Gruden as well, where if Gruden can come in, turn this offense around, and make it high-powered, explosive, one of the best in the league, well, then all of a sudden it's like, wow, offensive-minded coaches always in. One could wonder, all right, well, if Gruden's doing his thing, does he get another head coaching job, some spot down the line?
Absolutely. All right, ask the question about how long is the rope for Gardner Minshew? If he's the guy, or Nick Foles. I mean, I've penciled Gardner Minshew. It just rolls off my tongue that Gardner Minshew's the guy. Oh, wait, see his Instagram post? Him working out?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Simmons.
Rocking the Kiss, man, the Kiss shirt. I like that.
This is what I appreciate about Gardner, right?
Yeah.
He gets it.
Yeah.
Like, he understands. He knows. I mean, he wore a freaking Kiss shirt to the workout, and he quotes Ben
Sleeveless,
Gene
right?
Simmons. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he had it was like, I'm not saying that's like set up, premeditated, but like he gets out of bed. Some of us think of a quote, and he's thinking of what shirt am I going to wear
which
and match
rock
it
shirt?
with that lyric?
Which classic rock shirt am I going to rock today? Absolutely.
Across the freaking pond and all that.
Yeah.
So it'll be it's going to be fun with Gardner Minshew if he is the guy, but we of course don't know he is the guy. Let's just say Minshew, okay, because we all think that way. I think Big Cat Country did a poll out there, like 2,000 votes, or sorry if I shortchanged you, Big Cat Country. I think there were 2,000 votes. I think that's what Kuz told me. And Kuz, what do you say? Like 8%, I think, were for Foles wanting to be the starting quarterback. If this was a democracy,
yeah,
we know who would be the starting quarterback.
Well, and I'm sure Nick Foles has a pretty big family, and some family members took part in that vote as well. But, yeah, obviously I think the obvious choice would be Gardner Minshew going forward.
Yeah, but so what's the rope, man? How long you going to give him? How much? You've got to remember here, this is about two things, potentially. This is the reason I think they're going with Minshew. It's about his development and what do you have in him going forward. What do you have in 2020? By the end of 2020, you need to know what Gardner Minshew is. The only way you wouldn't know what he is because of injury. That's the only thing. And then there's the other side, and that's Doug Marrone. And Doug Marrone, you would think, has to get to 9 wins at the very least. Let's just call that his number.
Sure.
He's got to get to 9 wins, a winning record. Hasn't happened very often around here. If you get to 9 wins in Jacksonville, you're doing something.
Well, and it's funny, and I thought the magic number last year was going to be 8 for him to keep his job, and here we are. So.
Well, I know.
Yeah.
But so we at least, let's just conservatively say 9.
That's conservative,
and it might need more.
Yeah.
But you got to at least have a winning record, you figure.
Correct.
I don't care what happens.
Yep.
If you play with 3 guys, you need to win 9 games.
Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't matter. So you balance that, and I think that's what's important here. I know we're all stuck on Gardner Minshew, but you have to remember there's a guy's job on the line. There's a bunch of staff members on the line. There's a bunch of players that will have their jobs on the line too, because success dictates whether you stick around often. How quick will they pull the plug on whatever quarterback they choose, assuming it's a Minshew? That's what we're going to play along, at least in this example. And then put a guy like Foles in, knowing his history, knowing his ability to win games, his ability to produce. We would think a healthy Nick Foles. And we also will say he's on the roster still, because I think he will be on the roster. Is it 2 games? Is it 4 games? Is it up to the bye in 8 games? What's realistic?
So, listen, I think that coaching staff down in the locker room, they have a better idea of what they have at quarterback than we even do. A better idea than Jaguars fans even know. And if we want to go back to last year, Gardner Minshew had his auditioning in London playing the Houston Texans. Now, one could argue that the game script didn't really fit his style of play, didn't really fit his mold. It is what it is. He didn't play a good game, no excuses, and he kind of got benched for it, right? And Nick Foles comes back in. Well, then later on, Nick Foles goes to Indianapolis, and obviously he has his game. And they put the ball in Nick Foles' hands. He couldn't produce. And then the next game, Gardner Minshew comes in. So, to me, that tells me all I need to know right there. That even last year, when I get it, the season was crumbling and everything like that, and they started to go on their slide, but one could say Doug Marrone was fighting for his job last year as well. And to only give Nick Foles that small sample size and then put Gardner Minshew back in, it shows exactly what the staff thought last year about Nick Foles and Gardner Minshew, right? They were intrigued by Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew was the guy. So to go from last season now, Brent, to this offseason and then the OTAs, to me, nothing's changed. I think as far as the coaching staff's concerned, I get it. The offensive coordinator, John DeFilippo, not here anymore, right? You have a new quarterbacks coach, but it's still Doug Marrone. And I think if the choice comes down to Doug Marrone, he knows what he has at each quarterback spot, and I think Doug Marrone goes with Gardner Minshew.
But here's the thing. Here's what I do think is a little bit different in that respect, man. I think last year you're kind of grabbing at stuff, right? Because he does think his job's on the line. And they're right in the middle of it. They had that 3-game stretch. And all of a sudden, Gardner Minshew, although he looks like everything's riding, and it's like, oh, it's going to be a tough decision, well, things go bad in London. And so you have that happen. Then you go back to Foles, and then Foles obviously isn't good, so you go back to Minshew. So there's just kind of this grab, right? Mm-hmm. I wonder what would have happened last year if that was year 1 of Marrone. And he knew he had 2 more years to go, and there was no pressure of the job or anything like that. I'm not saying no pressure to win. There's always pressure to win.
Of course.
But I wonder if he would have then stuck with Foles, stuck with Minshew to begin with. The scenario changes based on the tenuous nature of the situation.
Of course.
And so to your point, there was the same situation last year as there is this year. But I think you have to be careful when you start grabbing for stuff and just hoping that button works. Hit this button here.
Yeah.
You know, Major League Baseball managers can do that. It's 162 games. Man, I hope this lineup works today. I hope throwing this guy in here. A little different at the quarterback spot in the NFL because there's such a domino effect.
Listen, all I'm going to say is that, you know, the last impression is always one that you remember the most. And the fact that Doug Marrone rolled with Gardner Minshew until the last game of the season, it shows to me that they believe in Gardner Minshew. Now, once again, I get it. Nick Foles' sample size wasn't that big last year. But that's exactly my point. If it wasn't that big, then why not give Nick Foles another chance if you're Doug Marrone, if you really believe in him? I think they believe in Gardner Minshew going forward. He's the younger guy. He's the more intriguing prospect. They're going to go with him and then see how it pans out from there.
All right. By the way, the square is back on our video feeds. I think we need to give the square a name. Could be like our
Sam
mascot.
the Square.
Sam the Square. That's what you came up with. That was quick. Nice work. When we come back, there is a high school football situation I want to get to. Big picture. Are we too soft in society? Or was it the right move? And we got to be a little careful as educators and coaches of youth. Have we let that slide too far? Where are we on the line? We'll talk about it coming up next. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Live from Monster Jam here on a Friday. They're starting to crank it up in here.
Playing some driver intros, man. I like it.
Oh, well,
starting to learn all the drivers
intro.
here.
We're going to get into that. I got to say that. A little walk-up song for the Monster Jam.
Start doing your homework here, Brent.
Nothing soft.
Nothing soft.
Next on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
I'm Jake Mitchell. Happy Friday. The Jaguars aren't the only team in the NFL that will need a passport this season. The Arizona Cardinals will be hosting a game at Estadio Azteca. That's in Mexico City. Their opponent will be announced when the rest of the schedule comes out. All eyes are in the NFL scouting combine this week, and the guy making some noise is a punter. Yes, a punter from Arizona State. He leads the combine so far with 25 reps on the bench press. That's 225 pounds that he bench pressed 25 times. It's currently more than the linemen in the scouting combine. And finally today, the Icemen are back home at the ViceStar Veterans Memorial Arena. Puck drops at 7 p.m. Stay connected with ESPN 690 while you're at work by listening on ESPN690.com. The best kept secret in tires is TireOutlet.com. Tire Outlet offers wholesale prices with premium service, and TireOutlet.com always has a safety first focus. With locations throughout the First Coast, there's no need to go anywhere else for tires and service.
A family dinner, a birthday party, or maybe it's lunch. Make Rena's Pizza part of your plans. Want a fresh one? Rena's has fresh ingredients and fresh food throughout the menu. And oh, the pizza is so good. Hey, everyone, this is Brent Martineau. We love bringing the show to Rena's Pizza. Find your way to Rena's Pizza. Rena's has you covered with 5 locations in Northeast Florida. Marsh Landing, Bay Meadows, Argyle Forest, San Jose, and Neptune Beach. Rena's Pizza.
Hi, it's Nathan from Gordon Chevy in Orange Park, where the price you see online is the price you pay when you arrive. No gimmicks or tricks like add-on fluff stickers some other dealerships use to add thousands to the price. Not here. Fast, fair, and transparent is what you always can expect at Gordon. And right now, during our auto show discount event, take up to $11,000 off new Silverados, up to $5,000 off new Equinox. Find us at the money-saving end of Blanding Boulevard and online at GordonChevy.com. Chevy, find new roads.
It happens only once every 4 years, and it's happening this Saturday. Leap Day 2020, this Saturday, the 29th of February. And what better way to celebrate this rare occasion than with something even more rare at Diamonds Direct. Come and see a special collection of precious diamonds and colored gemstones, and let us help you pick out something they will enjoy every day, but especially on every Leap Day in the future as a reminder of your love. Put this extra day of 2020 to good use and do something truly memorable with a diamond bracelet, a pair of diamond earrings, a sapphire and diamond tennis bracelet, or an exquisite certified diamond. Ask about extra savings and extra financing options on this one extra day of the year. And like with any other day of the year, you can count on Diamonds Direct for the guaranteed lowest price and a free lifetime warranty. One that will cover you for every leap year way into the future. Diamonds Direct. Take the leap and make this Saturday count. Get directions and store hours now at diamondsdirect.com.
I'm Josh Scobie, proud supporter of the Guardian Catholic Schools, where we believe that every child deserves access to a quality faith-based education. For over 22 years, Guardian Catholic Schools have served as a critical high-impact presence within Jacksonville's educational landscape. From our highly acclaimed Early Learning Center and K-8 classrooms, every student is prepared with critical thinking skills and confidence as our educators build a foundation for their lifelong success. In fact, more than 96% of our alumni go on to graduate high school, higher than our local and state average. All students attending Guardian Catholic School receive some level of financial assistance. Regardless of where they begin, we know that all children can be successful. For more information on how you can help protect the potential of these bright students, visit guardiancatholicschools.org or call 904-765-1920 to schedule a tour. Guardian Catholic Schools, protecting potential.
Hey, boss, have you heard? More dirt about the Ding Dong Doorbell Company.
Uh-oh, what is it now?
Get this. Some software engineer for the parent company has called for the immediate and permanent shutdown of the company because of privacy issues.
Whoa, this is huge.
Yeah, you just can't keep track of all the hacking stories. Oh, and they just fired employees for spying on customers.
You realize this is bad news for us crooks, right?
What do you mean, boss?
Think about it. When these Ding Dong Doorbell customers finally get fed up, they could end up going to SafeTouch.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Once folks compare the cheap, unreliable, and vulnerable DIY system to a SafeTouch system,
then we've lost them forever. Boss, we gotta hope this Ding Dong Doorbell Company stops messing up.
Exactly. Because we gotta stick to the Crooks R Us motto. Stay away from SafeTouch houses.
Crooks know to stay away from SafeTouch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of SafeTouch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call SafeTouch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Hey, it's Coos from Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Now, I know there's a ton of ways you can listen to the show, but did you know one of the ways is through a smart speaker? Yes, the Google Home, the Amazon Alexa. It's pretty easy to do. Just tell either of them to play ESPN 690. Try it out weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m., and you can listen to Action Sports Jacks.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
I think, if anything, our visits that we bring guys in for, we'll probably see a little bit more guys that are higher rated guys that come in for our 30 visits.
Having an extra first, does that intrigue you about trade possibilities?
Yeah, for both picks, because you know you have the one at 20 sitting there. So if you want to move back at 9 and pick up some picks later, right now we have 9 picks, and we'll see what we have come draft.
That's Dave Caldwell from the Combine this week. Moving and shaking. Listen, every GM says it. They want to move, compile picks. It's a great thing to do for the future. It's also very important for this team to fill some holes and get some big-time players with those picks, especially the early ones. That's where you find the instant impact most of the time. So the Jaguars did that this year with Josh Allen, who, by the way, is right over here.
Yeah.
And with his family checking out Monster Jam. And also with Juwan Taylor.
Yeah.
And others, obviously, with Gardner Mitchell, but I'm saying in the early part of the round. So 9 and 20 could be guys that are impactful right away. You go back and you say, all right, what about the 28th pick in Taven Bryan a couple years back? Well, I'm not sure how much you're relying on that 28th pick to be impactful in year one. It's a little different. Top 10, top 15 even. You'd like first round. You definitely like second round, and you might need them. But once you need those guys to be really productive and good early on, you're probably in a bit of trouble and keeping your fingers crossed. And the Jaguars were like that not only with Allen, they were like that with Taylor, and they got lucky there, but they also were like that with Josh Oliver, and they got unlucky there.
See, from my perspective, anytime you're picking in the top 10, top 15, Brent, whoever you take has to come in and contribute right away. The only outlier would be like a quarterback, obviously, where you can have him as a backup for a while and then build him up if you really need to. Odds are that if you're picking, 29, 30, or in the bottom half of the draft, odds are that your roster is actually probably looking pretty good, because obviously you're picking it in the back for a reason. You had a good season prior. So with that being said, with Taven Bryan, I feel like Taven Bryan was more of the project. I think they saw a lot of potential in Taven Bryan, and they saw somebody who, we can kind of slowly bring him along and kind of make him into who we want. Now, obviously, fans can go back and forth and saying Taven Bryan hasn't really lived up to expectations quite yet as a first-round pick. But at the same time, once again, that's where teams try to, get those guys maybe a little rough around the edges. Maybe something they have like some kind of character trait, some kind of flaw physically that they try to cultivate and build up.
It'll be interesting to see what the Jaguars do and how they leverage those first-round picks, if they can compile more picks. I think it's most likely if you wanted to do a little of both, you go get a big player at number 9 that you like, right? One of the top 10 players in the draft, and maybe even really one of the top 6, 7 players in the draft because quarterbacks have been taken and their value slides up. And then you take that 20 pick and you combine that for a later first-round pick, maybe go back 8 spots, and you get something in the second round or third round as well. So that's the way to do it. That's the teams like Baltimore. And I did that study on Baltimore. They've done a masterful job of that. But they've also been picking in that neck of the woods, right, between the back half, 15 to 30. And so you can do that a little bit more. All right, we're getting back to the football stuff in a little bit. We're at Monster Jam right now here at TIAA Bank. Monster Jam tomorrow night. Austin will be here.
Oh, yeah.
And you got the music playing, the dirt's moving, and actually right now all things are calm down there. Looks good.
Yep.
We thought we might get a little practice here today, and I think we might. I think we might see some of that.
All right.
So hopefully we can, or you can see it in the background, or maybe we can inch a little closer. Along the way. But we wanted to get to this topic.
Yeah.
This is an interesting topic, and it's kind of broad about high school sports, maybe or youth sports. But you had it as like you're falling for 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
We kind of ran out of time. Quite frankly.
Back-to-back fallings, Brent.
Tell us the story.
So basically what happened was Seminole High School at the high school state championships ended up winning their game to win the state.
This would be last spring, by the way.
Correct. Yep, to win the state title. Obviously we live in the social media age. We live in the digital age, I guess you would say, where the coach comes on the bus celebrating with the trophy, much to the appeal of all his players. They're celebrating, and the coach kind of gives this, let's just say, for lack of a better word, this language-filled speech, basically.
Yeah,
and
profanity-laced.
Profanity-laced speech, yeah. And unfortunately, one of his players was recording it because, let's be honest, I'm sure you want to save the moment, so a player was recording it. That video gets out. It gets to the school board. The school board opts to fire the head coach then, obviously, for using such profanity and bad language.
And do you find that appalling that they fired him? Is this a politically correct thing? How much backlash was there really?
Sure.
Parents, are you really that oblivious to what happens in high school?
Well,
is it okay for coaches to do that? Should they draw a line? There's a lot of ways to go here.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
And let's go ahead and paint this picture a little brighter here. As far, as the curse words and everything, we're not going to play the video because it's literally just, it's nonstop beeps. Yeah.
I think there were like 108 words or something.
Yeah.
I think I heard, and 36 curse words.
Yeah, exactly. So there obviously was a lot of curse words.
By the way, I never said cursing until I went to Ohio and then down south and everything. I just said swearing.
Oh, swearing? Okay, I got you. Yeah.
Cussing or cursing.
cursing, swearing. Yeah. Pick your poison. So how do I feel about it? And as I watched this video, I had I try to put myself in a parent's perspective, right? Because obviously the people who should be offended, if they are offended, is the parents. And I think about when I watch movies with my son, if my son's on YouTube. Granted, I always try to monitor what he's watching because he's only 5 years old right now. But a kid, at that age in high school, they can find profanity like that anywhere, Brent. Okay, they can find it on TV. They can find it in movies. They can obviously find it in music, as we were rocking Eminem on the way back from the Senior Bowl.
Yes,
they can find it, anywhere. So, in my opinion, when we're talking about student athletes, and keep in mind, student athlete is not one word. It's 2 words, student and athlete. And I think sometimes people get caught up where, I get it, it's part of the school system, being an athlete. But let's be honest, man, I think we've all had some of those coaches in high school who maybe cursed a little bit. And that's just kind of the way of life. It is what it is. And I'm not trying to sound like get off my porch type of Austin right now. But I think that you're going to fire a guy over language that obviously I don't think the players really had an issue with because they're celebrating because they just won a championship. I just think it's a little bit too much. Obviously, maybe a warning, maybe bring the coach in, kind of talk to him a little bit and say maybe from the optics it doesn't look good for the school. But you just can't let go. You just can't fire a guy because of that, because I guarantee a lot of coaches around the country, Brent, have that same language in their vocabulary.
And just because others do it doesn't mean it's necessarily okay. And I get why some people are offended with it. Listen, do I think first of all, I swear too much, probably. So I try not to be super hypocritical in this.
Yeah.
The kids have been around it. Even when they were little, I feel like coaches were swearing to a degree. I mean, not like profanity laced, but you'd hear words, right?
Yeah.
It's become part of culture where whether it's music, whether it's just the way we casually talk about things, and I'm guilty of it, man.
Yeah.
And so I don't mind it. What I always said with my kids is I almost don't care if you hear it. I just don't want you to say it.
Of course.
So you have to figure out the filter, but you're not saying it. Now,
Yep.
some people can do a better job. I will say my kids have been really good at that for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, they've heard a lot. and not really. Like, I mean, I don't think we'll go around our house that way. I'm just saying
Sure.
from coaches or maybe from conversations that they overhear us having or music or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And they do a pretty good job of that, I would say. And I don't know the right or wrong way to do it. I'm not judging anybody. I'm just saying they've heard it. Like, my kids have grown up around it enough. And it doesn't bother me that much. And I just think it's part of things. Like, when they go to high school, they're going to have to filter things out, whether it's from what their peers are saying, from what other coaches say, whatever. They're going to hear stuff that you don't want to know that they're hearing. And guess what? They're going to hear it. You're in denial if you don't think they're going to hear it. So how are they going to process it and use it? And you hope they don't use it, especially in certain situations. But if you are around, like, we're around high school kids enough now, and it's all over the place, man.
Of course.
I mean, we're covering football games.
Yeah.
And it's too much sometimes. And I don't love it. I don't like hearing it from a kid like that. And to be honest with you, I don't really mind the coach that is saying it or anything like that. But it probably is a little much. It probably happens too much.
But then you can argue, do you get caught in the moment, though, bro? The guy just won a state title, man. It's a great celebration.
I would say this. If I was a critic of it, and I'm not hammering this guy. Listen, they celebrated. They should be able to celebrate. As long as they're not celebrating with alcohol and stuff like that, I don't care if they celebrate with the language.
Sure.
I really don't. I don't think the guy should have been fired. I think it's just so over the top, politically correct. But I will say, if the guy is swearing 36 times in 108 words, and he's probably swearing all the time around them, and is it necessary? Is it sometimes that almost get watered down? Like, if you're going to swear, if you're a coach or if you're an educator or whatever, I mean, I don't know, education, not swearing in social studies class, but if you're going to swear like that, you almost want it to matter.
Exactly.
Right? You want it to mean something.
Or else it doesn't mean anything.
And so it's so watered down in that situation, it doesn't matter so much.
Well,
so here's the point.
yeah.
Moral of the story for me is I don't think he should have been fired.
Yeah.
I also will say it's okay to say, dude, do you really have to swear that much? Like, do we have to swear that much, especially around whatever age kids it is? Is it that necessary? Remember, and I don't think I think a lot of coaches don't have the ego of this at that level, at the high school level, but we just talked about it with Corky Rogers the last couple of days. The impact coaches have on young people is massive. How they hold themselves, what they do. I can tell you, I mean, Ty literally sits, like sitting down, the way his Little League coach sat down. We laugh about it all the time. But, like, he does. Like, he doesn't look like his dad. He looks like his coach that coached him for 6 years.
Sure.
Sitting down. So they're impacting young people, whether it's high school or younger than that. And when you get to college, it seems like it's a little bit more okay. When you get to the pros, it's obviously seems like it's okay. I just think it probably is overused, and it has watered down the emphasis of it, the intent of it at times to say, really, like, what are you doing in that one moment?
Well, and I'm going to be honest, man. Like, shout out to my high school coach, Coach Erickson, Scott Erickson, who's one of the most winningest coaches of all time in Wisconsin. He never swore. And then we have my position coach, Johnny Jernigan from Murray State. He never swore. And some of the best coaches that I played for, man, never used a curse word. For instance, Andy Reid. Never heard Andy Reid swear one time in training camp. So, it is possible to be a great coach and not have to be able to swear to get your emotions across, right? I think as long as it comes from a place of being genuine, where if you're putting on this facade where you want to, have these lace-filled, these tirades, then players are going to see through that, And in terms of, yes, the language, obviously it comes down to parenting, but I think you did a great example of it where, your kid's going to high school pretty soon, they're going to be all around it. And I think from the standpoint of, curse words and bad language, they're only a big deal if you give them the power to be.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if I'm watching, like the Super Bowl and Travis Kelce drops an F-bomb because he just picked up the trophy, my son's watching and be like, hey, Ronan, we don't say that word, right? I'm not going to turn off the Super Bowl and be like, nope, can't watch it anymore because there's bad words in it. So, like, I think as long as you parent, you do your job, you're going to be okay. And once again, don't give those words power. And by firing a baseball coach for saying those words, guess what, man? You just gave those words the most power ever.
What's interesting to me, what has changed, I think, at least over the years, is that curse words used to be used to kind of yell at somebody, right? To kind of make a point.
Yeah.
They're now used so much in a celebratory way. Like you just said, Travis Kelce might swear a win. And it's, again, like, that's not like a big issue to me, but that's kind of the way it's gone. And that's where it's a little bit different, I think. And in this case, that's what it was. The guy was celebrating a championship.
Yeah.
And 1 out of every 3 words you had to bleep out.
Yeah.
And so it's fascinating. Yet I'm so hypocritical at times of this because, and it just kind of checks yourself. I guess I'm not really hypocritical of it. I mean, heck, I told you the story a couple weeks ago. I played Eminem's that one where he in 30 seconds had 280 words.
Yep.
Well, I'm sharing that with, like, Kaylee.
Because it's impressive, man. It's like a piece of art, though, right?
Yeah.
It is.
Should not be, she should probably not be listening. not like with her dad. Like,
no, for sure.
So it's fascinating how sometimes you put it in that context. I'll share another story. And you just said it, how coaches don't swear. Matthew Driscoll, I did a story on him about 5 or 6 years ago. In fact, I think if you subscribe on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690, it might be on our YouTube channel there. It might be. But
check it out.
It's basically the story of Matthew Driscoll had set, like, his rule was they didn't swear. And the idea was when anybody could come into practice.
Yeah.
If a parent came into practice and watched, if the school president came in, the AD came in, a prospective kid came in, didn't matter.
Yeah.
A little kid came in.
Yeah.
You weren't going to hear all that in practice. Again, this was just one way of doing it.
Yeah.
But so we did this whole thing. And so he comes up with, like, some words that are just, off the charts. I forget what word he uses, but it's kind of funny. But if he swears or anybody swears, you got to do push-ups.
Okay.
And so, again, I haven't talked to Coach Driscoll about this particular thing in a while. I'm assuming that's still the rule.
Yeah.
But it was just a fascinating look at Division I basketball, and his intensity level.
Yeah.
Right? You're talking about a guy who's now a GIF or whatever we say.
Let's
go.
Yeah.
But he's intense.
Well, it's so funny you bring this up because it reminds me of a story, too. From my first year with the team in 2010, my rookie year in Jacksonville. Joe Cohen, defensive line coach. You know Joe Cohen. We talk about him all the time. One of the most insane characters you're ever going to meet. Well, I don't know if it was his idea, if it was Aaron Campman's idea, or who brought this idea to his attention, but he wanted to have a swear jar in our position room. So every time we come to, we go watch the team meeting, then we go defensive, like the defensive meetings, and then we break up the defensive line meetings. So the defensive line's in there, and Joe Cohen's like, all right, someone swears, that's going to be a couple bucks, in the pot or whatever like that. Like, hey. Well, we're like, oh, okay, Joe, sounds good. Well, when you got me, you got Pot Roast, you got Jeremy Mincy, Derek Harvey, man. Like, but of course, like, if you thought J.J. Watt raised a lot of money in Houston that one time for the Hurricanes, dude, if we would have actually followed through with that swear jar, I mean, we would have had Lot J built by now. We would have had the shipyards built by now. Like, it could not coexist in a defensive line room. There's no way, man.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's really good. I'll tell you one more, and I'll say it just for the context of it, so I don't want to offend anybody. But my Little League coach, so when we were 11 and 12 years old, oh, my gosh, dude, we were bad. We were 1-15 each of those years. I'll never forget.
Yeah.
But I had Gideon Applegate was his name, Mr. Applegate, Coach Applegate. And he was an older gentleman, man who played in the Negro Leagues.
Okay,
believe
wow.
it or not.
Yeah,
really cool story.
Heck yeah.
And he, so instead of saying, like, every time he'd get mad, instead of saying Jesus, he would say jingles.
Jingles.
So he would be like, jingles. Like, I'm actually surprised I haven't adopted it because he would say jingles so much.
Yeah.
But I thought that's how you knew it. You remembered it. Like, again, I'm remembering that. From
Yeah,
11, 12 years old.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he said jingles.
Yeah.
And he was a great man. I since
awesome.
passed, but he Jingles. That's what it was. And I never heard that. And I bet other people have done that and do that.
Sure.
But that was the word. It was jingles.
I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, it was a pretty good one. So, it's a facet. Listen, this isn't trying to be self-right. I know we can be so self-righteous on social media and all these places now. That's not the intent. It's an interesting talking point. If that had happened with Ty or Kaylee on that bus, I would not have been that offended. I really wouldn't have been offended. Now, would I have been opposed to somebody at that school saying, hey, man,
yeah,
come on.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, listen.
Without a doubt.
Because the bottom line is I do respect that is offensive to some.
Yeah.
And that's fine. It just wouldn't have been for me. I would have actually been more upset, and I don't know the reaction down there. I would have been more upset that they fired him.
Of course,
over
man.
that. I would have been like, come on, tell him that he made a mistake.
Yeah.
Maybe reprimand a little bit.
Yeah.
But then let him show that he can either change or not do it that way instead of just saying you're gone.
Exactly. At least give him a chance to redeem himself if it really comes down to it, right? Because if it's one of my kids on that bus and that tirade's going on, I'm going to be upset, man, because essentially you firing the coach is like essentially me kind of sheltering my kid a little bit and said, no, like you can't hear this language. No, like, I mean, who's to know? Like, my son could be 10 years old in the middle of Starbucks and someone could be having a bad day and just go on a rant, man. It's all around us. Once again, like, if you just give those words power, it is what it is. And I just think that coach should have got a second chance. It's unfortunate for sure.
The one other thing, I don't know his background. Were there other things? I have no, but he was there a year.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
Won a state championship.
Obviously did a pretty good job.
Story.
Yeah.
So one other moment on this, but because it's, to me, we use language in either movies or song as a cop-out there.
Yeah.
You can still control yourself.
Of course.
You can still. You're never going to go into a setting that is like you're going for $1 million job and start dropping
for sure.
curse words.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You can control yourself.
Exactly.
So that is something that is a controllable thing.
Yep.
And it doesn't have to do with. I listened to this song the other day, and they're saying it.
Yeah,
I just don't. I don't buy that. I understand why we get to that stage, and people do and say it, and it's influential on some. But I think that's a lazy excuse for it. Interesting story. That was a wild story coming out of Seminole there with the baseball coach. All right, when we come back, we try to draft players that will play right there in the fall. What do you look for?
Yep.
What's the traits? And I'm not obviously looking for good players. That's not the point here.
Yeah.
What kind of players do you need in a locker room? You've been in there before.
Yeah.
Are there different pockets, different styles? You can't
Better
have
believe
the same
it, man.
cookie-cutter guy, can you? That's coming up. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. How would you build the draft if you were the GM? Oh, we know you felt like you were the GM before. Here's your chance. 904-362-9901 if you want to jump in. We're live at Monster Jam. It's tomorrow night right here at the Bank in Jacksonville.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Would Stugotz make a good president of the United States? 51% of the audience said yes. But listen, when you run on a platform of Super Bowl Saturday, when everyone feels miserable on Monday, I mean, you got to get shot.
America's united on this. Like, we shouldn't feel this way today.
Nice. The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
3, 2, 1. The countdown to the 50th Daytona Supercross is on. The high-flying, heart-pounding action happens Saturday, March 7th at the World Center of Racing. Get closer to the action than anywhere else on the Monster Energy AMA Supercross circuit as the top racers go bar to bar at Daytona. Don't let another second pass you by. Get tickets and trackside access by calling 1-800-PIT-SHOP or visiting DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
If you have a specific medical problem, you call a specialist. Broken leg? Call an orthopedist. Cataracts? Call an ophthalmologist. At Prime Men's Medical Center, our doctors specialize in ED and PE. Listen to Dr. Rubinski, a renowned expert in men's health.
I'm Dr. Rubinski. If you're experiencing ED or PE, Prime Men's Medical Center has custom blended medications to help you last longer in the bedroom, regardless of age or past medical history, with no pain or surgery. In fact, you'll see results in the office guaranteed or your exam is free. Patients are now lasting for 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. And best of all, treatments are affordable.
Men. If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, call Prime Men's Medical Center for a private consultation with our highly skilled physicians. Call 904-206-8105. 904-206-8105. 904-206-8105.
It's time for some straight talk. You know what a full court press is in basketball, right? Full defensive coverage with no holes. Well, that's the kind of coverage you get with Straight Talk Wireless. It runs on America's best 4G LTE networks, same as the big carriers, but just for a lot less. Just $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G, saving you up to half the cost of the big carriers. No contract. Full court coverage, half the cost. Straight Talk Wireless. Everything for less. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
This is the Frells family. They live on a piece of land they call greener pasture, and they work on it behind the wheel of a John Deere 1 Series tractor. With its durable construction and features that hook up to dozens of attachments with ease, no job is too tough. The Frells family runs with us, because this is more than just land, it's home. Nothing runs like a Deere. Get a 1 Series tractor for just $99 per month at your John Deere dealer today. For additional cost information, please call toll-free 855-633-2315.
You've heard me talking about the good folks at Zero Res Carpet Cleaning, but have you seen what other people are saying? Just Google Zero Res Jacksonville, read the customer reviews, over 2,800 reviews with an average score of 4.9 stars. That's out of 5. Zero Res has a patented process. It cleans carpets without using any soaps, no detergents, no shampoos, and that means you won't have any sticky residue left behind. That means your carpets will stay clean longer. Add to that a team of technicians that have been named #1 in the country for 3 years in a row, and you have the winning combination. Zero Res can clean your carpets, upholstery, area rugs, tile, grout, granite countertops, and much more. And right now is the time to call Zero Res because they're offering the hottest price of the year. You get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $99. 3 rooms, $99. This offer is only good in February. Call Zero Res at 904-287-5727. That's 904-287-5727. Zero Res spelled forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
It happens only once every 4 years, and it's happening this Saturday. Leap Day 2020, this Saturday, the 29th of February. And what better way to celebrate this rare occasion than with something even more rare at Diamonds Direct. Come and see a special collection of precious diamonds and colored gemstones, and let us help you pick out something they will enjoy every day, but especially on every Leap Day in the future as a reminder of your love. Put this extra day of 2020 to good use and do something truly memorable with a diamond bracelet, a pair of diamond earrings, a sapphire and diamond tennis bracelet, or an exquisite certified diamond. Ask about extra savings and extra financing options on this one extra day of the year. And like with any other day of the year, you can count on Diamonds Direct for the guaranteed lowest price and a free lifetime warranty, one that will cover you for every leap year way into the future. Diamonds Direct. Take the leap and make this Saturday count. Get directions and store hours now at diamondsdirect.com.
Founded in Jacksonville, Vision is Priceless aims to assess, sustain, and improve the visual health of children and adults in Northeast Florida through education, vision screenings, treatment, and referrals. The Players is proud to support Vision is Priceless. It's 10 days until the Players.
Hey, it's Trey Wingo from Golic and Wingo, and you're listening to ESPN 690.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. After practice today, Warriors guard Steph Curry will meet with Coach Steve Kerr and GM Bob Myers. They'll talk about when Curry will get back on the floor for a game. He's been out for 4 months with a broken left hand. A large crane collapsed today at SoFi Stadium, the new home of the Chargers and the Rams in Inglewood, California. There were no injuries in that crane collapse. The stadium is scheduled to open this summer. Yankees DH Giancarlo Stanton may miss the start of the season with a right calf strain. He got hurt Tuesday during spring training drills. Stanton played only 18 games last year with multiple injuries. Rutgers basketball coach Steve Peichel gets a 2-year contract extension. His deal now runs until 2026. The Scarlet Knights are 18-10 this season. It'll be their first winning season in 14 years. And in January, they broke into the national top 25 rankings for the first time in 41 years.
Straight Talk Wireless has the full court cell phone coverage you need. Get the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G for just $45 a month, saving you up to half the cost of big carriers. Everything for less. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Well, first off, I'm just looking to come in and provide, just be a team player, just do whatever I can for the team. But when my career is done, I would like to be the best defensive tackle to ever play this game.
That is Javon Kinlaw from South Carolina. He is climbing boards. He's intriguing. People love him. They love his story, which means he's got a motor, and he can't wait to get after that quarterback and those running backs. And so in the middle, some people are saying it could be the consolation prize if Derek Brown is not there. I'd say you're getting a good player either way.
Yeah.
And I know Brown is considered better. I get it. And a lot of times those projections on those interior linemen are right on. We just talked about Ndamukong Suh and Gerald McCoy yesterday.
Correct.
About when they came out in your class in 2010. So that is a position, I think, where people have been accurate before. I'm sure there's busts too, but they can be accurate with that spot. Derek Brown considered a can't-miss guy from Auburn, but Javon Kinlaw, pretty darn good too. How about Adam Schefter just reported this? Louisville, 6'7", 364-pound offensive tackle. Mekhi Becton, the largest player at this week's combine in Indianapolis, got measured with a mere 17% body fat.
Excuse me?
I think I was higher than that today.
That's ridiculous, man.
By the way, I've got bad news for me.
Yeah.
Maybe good news for you. I can now qualify for the heavyweight division.
Oh,
measuring in today.
What happened with the intermittent fasting?
Dude, I've been on it. And
it's just.
I mean, I must be just getting more muscle mass than I've ever had in my life.
Here's what it is. It is the muscle mass because obviously it's science. Muscle weighs more than fat, Brent. So obviously right now you're getting shredded. It is bulking season until beach season comes back. So bulk away, Brent, and then when it gets a little warmer out and everything, we hit up Jack's Beach a little bit. Then we'll start cutting down a little bit, man. Start getting that six-pack going on.
I tell you,
it's all good.
It was bizarre. Like, I feel good,
Yeah.
and it was like, holy
You
cow,
look
that's
good.
not right.
Yeah. Muscle, man. Don't sell yourself short, Brent.
I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
Don't sell yourself short now.
Now I'm even hitting it harder in March. I'm going back to the no sugar in March.
Okay.
I got to get ready for all the girls in California.
Oh, well, and in Vegas,
California
too.
Girls. That's
California, that's a song. That's a Katy Perry song, yes. Well, there's a couple California Girls songs, but Katy Perry also sang that one as well.
Yeah, there's only one girl in California. My wife will be there.
There it is. Enough said, man.
Gosh, that was a good rescue on my part. All right, Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. We are at Monster Jam, TIAA Bank. I wonder if there's going to be a little practice. I think there is. I mean, there's a lot of activity around here.
Yeah.
Getting ready for tomorrow night.
Yep.
And always a fun time. So this place will be packed, and it seems like it's always chilly during Monster Jam time. I've come before, and it was cool.
Yeah.
And it's like this kind of weather, which is freezing. It's just that at night, obviously the temperatures dip down.
Yep.
So it'll be a little bit on the cool side, but doesn't matter. People love their Monster Jam, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, like I said, we were here a couple years ago, and it was not cool. It was like 85 degrees.
a hot one.
And we were here because we had the pit passes, so we had to see all the trucks first. And it's always kind of a weird scene, right? Because I guess in like a lot of driving, where the trucks are a lot more popular than the drivers, with all due respect to the drivers.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, my son couldn't name any of the drivers who actually drive the monster trucks, but he knows the Gravedigger truck. He knows he knows like the monster vehicle. So like, it was more about just actually going to that. Do we got to stop the show for the?
Well, we can. We can stand up.
All right.
We didn't know about this. Listen to that national anthem. Well, there we go.
That's
A little national anthem. We always have a couple minutes for the national anthem. I don't know if that was just rehearsal for tomorrow night or if there's something that they're going to get going here.
Yeah.
But either way, it's a national. I think they might do that at the start of practice.
Yeah, I think it was just like a little.
But by the way, hey, everybody here, thanks for the heads up.
Yeah, no kidding.
Got a little live radio show going on.
I think that was a little rehearsal, Brent, because now look, they're getting ready for they're playing Disturbed on the radio right now on the sound system. Disturbed's coming on, so one would assume that this is like the intro for tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think.
But there also might be some practice ready to go.
Well, hey, and you know what? Note to ourselves: if we ever run out of topics, where we have to take a really slow day, just blast the national anthem for a couple minutes, man, and save us some time. Yeah.
Well, that just happened here on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 as we are at Monster Jam and live. And again, the big night's tomorrow, but they've had a bunch of festivities going on here today. And looking forward to see if the trucks come out here. You know, you hit it on the head. There are some things in sports, but in a life that it doesn't matter if you're 65, 45, 25, or 5 that are cool. And the monster trucks are still cool. You know, whether you want to go for 3 hours, but if you see one, you want to check it out. That's
of course,
my point.
man.
Like, that big truck that drives up next to you on the road, and the guy that spent all those money on tires, you know, you're like, hey, that thing's awesome. And everybody in the car says it.
Exactly,
You don't
man.
have to be a man, woman, anything. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
So it is one of those things, which is pretty wild. And Monster Jam tomorrow night. All right, build your own team.
Yes.
At the draft.
Yeah.
What kind of traits are you looking for in a player?
Yeah.
If you're this team, but you're the GM, okay?
Yep.
And listen, I understand the check the boxes. We're talking about all good athletes. I'm going deeper than that.
Yeah.
What do you want in your player?
So, first of all, I'm going to start with this, man, because obviously there's always some red flags with players, right? And I think to build a team, you have to know how to address that kind of situation, right? Because there's always going to be guys that have uber talent.
Yeah, baby.
Okay.
They did
they're
come
out
here.
They're out here now.
This is
wow.
fun. I mean, I just feel like our show just got tougher than it already
Oh,
is.
man. I mean, the testosterone right now that's coming through the airwaves, Brent, is unbelievable. Okay.
All right.
So keep on going?
Keep going.
Okay, well, I'll try to here. It's a little difficult.
It's going to test your concentration.
Exactly. So when we're talking about players with red flags, obviously that is a big question. And, you know, I kind of approach it like this, and this is actually some advice that I got from my mom, because truth be told, I got in trouble in high school. I ended up getting an underage, and that was brought up at the combine. And I think the biggest thing, whether it's an underage in high school, whether it's, you know, you get arrested in college, like, listen, obviously there are varying degrees of how bad the incident was, right? Like, I think from a standpoint where, you know, and I've been very loud on this point, where if it's something revolving domestic abuse, it's hard for me to come along with you, man, and bring you on my team. But if it's something like an underage, even a DUI, things of that nature, what I look for, because obviously you have to bring that stuff up, man. That's a big deal. Those are serious, you know, accusations. So if I'm interviewing a guy coming into the NFL and he's been in a little bit of a trouble, listen, everybody makes mistakes, Brent. But what I want to hear from the dude is the fact that he acknowledges that he was that he was in the wrong and that he's learned from it. Because a lot of time you hear these horror stories from combine interviews where a player could get in trouble and all he does is want to blame the finger at somebody else and not take responsibility. The first sign of maturity, especially on my football team, is you showing that you take responsibility for your actions and you showing that, you know, you've grown and you've matured from the incident. So that's one of the very first things I'm going to look for. Now, if I'm a position coach, right, if I'm a defensive line coach, something like that, and I'm trying to bring in, you know, defensive tackle, defensive end, one of the biggest questions I'm going to ask, because we talk about it all the time, Brent, what makes a great coach is a coach that can adapt to his players and not make his players adapt to him. The first thing I'm going to ask my players that I'm trying to interview here is, what kind of learners are they? Are they visual learners? Are they auditory learners? Are they read-write learners? Or are they kinesthetic learners where they learn, you know, by example, like they learn by movement? That's important to know, man, because the fastest way to get out of the NFL is to mess up your playbook and is to not know your plays. So you better believe whoever I'm going to bring in, I'm going to know how they learn, their learning styles, and then I'm going to set them up for success when we get in training camp and OTAs where they're going to have that playbook down, man. Because like I said, the fastest way out of the league is not knowing your playbook.
That's good stuff. Here's what I look at, okay, without getting too buried in like all the words, the buzzwords, and some of them that everybody brings up and that are true.
Yeah.
I want to take two guys that have been drafted here in the last handful of years, and I want to clone them as much as possible.
Okay.
Josh Allen and Yannick Ngakoue.
Okay.
Two different guys.
Big time.
Totally different.
Yeah.
But traits that I think add up and start building your culture of your team. One, they love football.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to find the guy that loves football. And by the way, that sounds like everybody loves football. That is not the case. I'm sure you played with guys that they were doing this for a job, a paycheck, and really, if they were done tomorrow, it wouldn't matter.
Correct.
So finding that is everybody tells you they love football at the combine interviews and all these other interviews.
Sure.
But can you find the guy that plays like he loves football?
Yeah.
Right? Plays with a smile on his face. Now, Jan doesn't know he plays with a smile on his face. He plays a little angry.
Yeah.
That's okay, too. I need a guy. You just said something really interesting about the playbook, and I didn't relate it to the playbook as much. But when 2017, I remember this conversation I had with Tayshaun Gibson, and it was interesting. He said, listen, we're good players. Like, we have a lot of good players on defense.
Yeah.
But we are smart players on defense. Like, we have a lot of guys with football IQ.
Sure.
It's another thing that gets overlooked because a lot of times they check the boxes, and they say height, weight, athleticism. And by the way, if you're a freak athlete, you can take less of a guy who maybe doesn't have complete the best IQ.
Yeah, yeah.
Or, I'm talking about like football IQ.
Yeah.
Or the best will to participate on every play or any of those things.
Yep.
The freakier the athlete, the more you're okay to dismiss that. By the way, you need some of those just raw, crazy athlete guys on your team too.
Correct.
But I like when Tayshaun Gibson told me that, you looked around and you had the Campbells and the Yannicks and Telvin Smith, a very instinctual player.
Yep.
So I liken the IQ to instinctual because what it can do is if you're a step slow on the 40-yard dash, well, you make up for it. Paul Posluszny was not the greatest athlete.
Correct.
He made up for a lot because of his instincts, his knowledge, his football IQ. I think that's important. The smarter the football team you can have, I think the better you're going to be because the more disciplined you're going to be, the more consistency you're going to be, and you know what to expect. And if you go into your football team or any game or anything in life and you know what somebody's going to give you every single time out, well, that's easier to coach. It's easier to game plan for. It's all those things. You got a guy that's erratic and you're not sure which guy's going to show up today, that's a little harder to do.
Sure.
So I love the guy that obviously has a passion to play. I think of Josh Allen and Yannick Ngakoue. They love playing football, right?
Yep.
They play right now on this dirt instead of field. I think about guys that are savvy and instinctual, and a guy like Yannick who might make up for his lack of size, but with some of that instinct and savvy and IQ. Josh Allen, who can play multiple positions with that. So I love those traits right there. And then I think the one that has been, this is a hard one to diagnose, okay? The guy that is playing at a more physical or tougher level than what football players normally play at. And I don't mean reckless, because there's a difference. But we have said it about this team. This team, at times, doesn't strike the fear of physical in you.
Correct.
That doesn't mean they're not physical individually. It doesn't mean they're not tough.
It's just not their identity, though.
But it's not. And so in this league, in late December, in January, whether it's a mental toughness or this extra notch up of a physical toughness, I feel like that's what this team has kind of lacked at times. Now, maybe that goes under maturity. I don't know what it goes under, but I want to find it.
Yeah.
So if you give me three things in a guy that I could have, I want to find that love, passion that just shows. It oozes. And there's no question. Because you know how many guys are questioned this week about, do they have a high motor? You know, do they take a couple plays off?
Correct.
I don't want that guy. I'd like to avoid that guy.
Yeah.
I want the football savvy, the IQ guy, the instinctual guy, that even if he's really skillful, he's going to get that extra step because of his instincts. If he's not super talented skill-wise or athlete-wise, well, he's going to make up for it because of that instinct.
Sure.
And then I want this ultra. It's a tough man sport, man. I mean, you've got to be tougher than the next guy. They're all tough, but you got to be tougher than the next guy.
Yeah.
And I need more of those guys. The more I can have, again, I don't need to make that cookie cutter, because what separates my football team, if I have more of that, what separates it is the different amount of athleticism, is the personalities.
Yeah.
Right? I just gave you two guys like Josh Allen, Yannick Ngakoue, totally different personalities.
Okay, yep.
And that's okay. Both are okay to have. Both I like on my football team. But I think they also have some of those things in common that I mentioned. The physical nature, the IQ nature, the love to play the game.
Yep.
So you can be different and still have those.
Let me ask this question right now, Brent, because as I go over some of the teams that I was on in the NFL and I look over those rosters I was a part of in that locker room, and I look at some of the talent, some of those talented guys that I played with, they were a little rough around the edges kind of guys. Now, I don't know if they were really like troublemakers coming out of high school or out of college, but there were some rough around the edges guys that were super talented. My question to you is, if you're the GM of the Jacksonville Jaguars this year, all right, and you just fired Tom Coughlin, obviously you're still trying to rebuild that culture, do you take a chance on a guy who has some red flags to him and obviously maybe get him, maybe at a discount with the red flags, or do you just bypass him knowing that, you know what, we're a pretty young team as it is right now, we have to focus on winning, and I'm not sure if I can cater to a guy with red flags right now?
Yeah, and I think here's the deal. When you're not a very good football team, and the Jaguars, who knows, they don't look like they are, and they haven't been, I don't think you can pigeonhole yourself. I think you got to take it case by case. But to your point, over the years, Gene Smith tried to get players that were captains, right?
Sure.
And they were that kind of, like, almost that
Small school
military
guys,
kind
too.
of
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
Small
yep.
school, but, they were leaders. you
Correct.
know, and it looked like they were leaders.
Yeah.
I don't want to pigeonhole myself there. I think I've heard Dave Caldwell say we're never going to have 52 or 53 angelic players.
Of course.
I understand that point.
Yeah.
What I have said over the years is it's okay to have the Jalen Ramsey. By the way, he wasn't like red flagged in terms of off field or anything.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he's a different cat.
He is.
And you have to be able to handle that. You have to know how many of those guys you can handle. If you get rid of Calais Campbell, you get rid of A.J. Boye, how many of those guys can you handle? Leonard Fournette has had some times. Jalen did have it.
Miles Jack a little bit,
Miles
this past
Jack's
year
still
getting thrown off the
growing
field.
up. I mean, the
yeah.
Telvin Smith stuff that happened. My view of it, and I don't know what the number is I'll have a couple of those guys. I can't have a lot of those guys. And so I liken it, and I look around a locker room and I say, okay, are there two of those guys on the offensive side of the ball and two of those guys on the defensive side of the ball and maybe one of them on special teams?
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I got 48 other guys to help build the culture. You're not going to have everybody.
Of course.
But they better be contributors, and they better be a contributor in a big way that you can say, okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
And I think usually those guys are. Odell Beckham Jr., he can be a pain in the butt.
Of course.
The whole thing can be a pain in the butt, but is he worth it? Well, you have to question the dynamic of what you have.
Yeah.
Was it working as a rebuilding in New York?
Yeah.
Is it working in Cleveland? I don't know.
Yeah.
Would it work in New England? Probably.
Absolutely.
Would it work in Pittsburgh? I mean, look what they made work in Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh's a great example of all that. They might have had more than two guys on each side of the ball. I mean, at times they might have had five guys on each side, and they were still, because of Tomlin and I think Roethlisberger and some of their, and kind of the Pittsburgh Steeler way, if you will, were able to make that work. I don't know if you can invite that much here in Jacksonville. I don't think you could. So it's a situational deal. I don't mind it. I just can't have too many of it. Whatever it is, it's an all different thing what you're asking.
Yeah.
But I can't have too many of those guys. And I do think in 2018, because some of the immaturities here in Jacksonville, because some of that mentality of, we figured this thing out, that blossomed. And there was more of that than was allowable. More of that to be successful than you could afford.
So let me ask you this, and I don't need you to name any names or anything, but if you look at this 2020 roster right now, the way it's set, do they have enough guys with that kind of type of, rough around the edges? Can you afford to have a couple more, or are they kind of all set and they've reached their maximum limit right now where it stands?
That's a good question. I don't know if they have many of them.
Yeah.
Really, I look at it. I mean, the offensive line's the offensive line. That's not where you find those guys.
Yeah.
Fournette looks like Fournette would be one of those guys.
A lot of maturity.
Fournette's the guy that grew up a lot in the last year, but now he's still tweaking things. But he's that guy.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Because he's a moody guy like that.
Sure.
But he's not a dangerous guy. I don't think he's dangerous in that respect. Look at the receivers: Conley, Westbrook. you're not really running into that.
No.
Doesn't seem like it. Tight end spot, you're not running into it. So offensively, I mean, maybe Fournette's that guy.
Yeah.
That might be like, the defensive side, I don't know. I don't think there are. I mean, you lost. Jalen was that.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, obviously, I just bring up Miles Jack from the standpoint of, he got thrown off the field and everything like that, and he had to get – but that was just that was a one – that was the first game of the season. Tensions were high and everything. So I would almost give Miles Jack a pass on that one.
Here's the deal. I think Miles Jack is not necessarily that guy, but he needs to mature more because this team needs him to.
Yeah.
He needs to, when you make that money, when you kind of want to be the guy with the C on your jersey, like it felt like he talked that game.
Sure.
And then you didn't really live up to it because of the first game, because of your play, because whatever it is.
Yeah.
I think he's different in that way, but he does need to mature from my view. That's I don't know Miles that well. I'm not familiar with him, but my view, from what I hear, I think they need more mature because they need it. And he'll be a better player for it. But sometimes I think that's more natural progression of a young guy.
Sure.
And maybe with Telvin gone and other people gone, they put too much on his plate. But, man, it's a great – over the years at times, like Darius was a little bit of that guy.
Yeah.
But he wasn't in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
I really don't – maybe, to answer our question as we're talking about it, maybe they need one or two of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't have them. Maybe
Yeah.
they need one more of those guys.
Yeah.
Because, listen, we did say this. Jalen Ramsey gave this football team a swagger, whether you liked it or not, that got taken away 5 weeks into the season, really 2 weeks into the season. And once 3 weeks in, because that Thursday night game. Once that was gone, we talk about identity, we talk about personality, all that stuff that was there in 17 and 18 because of this defense kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
The defense wasn't as good because it can't be as good if you lose one of your best players, if not the best. The defense lacked a little personality because that whole situation was a pain in the butt for 3 weeks, and then your personality guy from a quote standpoint, from an on-the-field swag standpoint, was gone.
Correct.
So who had that? And I think it's still a fair question. Who's going to deliver that? Telvin Smith had some of that in him.
Yeah.
Whether you didn't like his play all the time or not, he had some of that in him.
Yeah.
Well, last year they lost two of those guys. I'll tell you who else had that. And they lost a lot of personality in the position as free safety. Tayshaun Gibson had that in him. And they lost it from a personality standpoint. So that's what I'm talking about. When you build your teams, you need some personality.
Good call.
What's really interesting is Gardner Minshew may elevate it to an nth degree
Absolutely.
on the offensive side at quarterback, which
Yeah.
is something this franchise has never had from that position in terms of that kind of swag, personality.
Yeah.
He's that guy.
Sure.
I said it last year. The identity of this football team is Gardner Minshew.
You're right. Yeah.
And that might not be a bad thing.
Yeah.
But it was.
Well-
and you need you need a little personality in your football team.
Well, and we talk personality too, Brent. Obviously, Calais Campbell, fantastic dude. I don't think he's really that rough around the edges type of guy. I don't think Josh Allen or really Yannick Ngakoue are either. But you want to talk about in terms of swag and energy, if you could somehow maintain Yannick Ngakoue and keep developing Josh Allen, you might have something there at the bookends where they can kind of bring some of that swag that, is lost with Jalen Ramsey now.
Yannick Ngakoue did tweet a little bit. We'll share them.
Oh, can't wait.
What else is coming up? Included your thoughts on an MMA Minute, and your fight is a week away. Plus the UNF Ospreys. 20th win in a record-breaking season in the regular season. Now they got to go try to get to the NCAA tournament. All that and more football when we come back. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Mostly sunny, but breezy and pretty cool today. Highs between 60 and 65, dropping back down into the 30s tonight. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where for a limited time,
0% financing store-wide.
Find out more at beardsdiamonds.com. ESPN 690 SportsCenter update.
I'm Jake Mitchell. Happy Friday. If the Jaguars aren't the only team in the NFL that will need a passport this season, the Arizona Cardinals will be hosting a game at Estadio Azteca. That's in Mexico City. Their opponent will be announced when the rest of the schedule comes out. All eyes are in the NFL scouting combine this week, and the guy making some noise is a punter. Yes, a punter from Arizona State. He leads the combine so far with 25 reps on the bench press. That's 225 pounds that he bench pressed 25 times. It's currently more than the linemen in the scouting combine. And finally today, the Icemen are back home at the VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena. Puck drops at 7 p.m. Stay connected with ESPN 690 while you're at work by listening on ESPN690.com. The best kept secret in tires is TireOutlet.com. Tire Outlet offers wholesale prices with premium service, and TireOutlet.com always has a safety-first focus. With locations throughout the First Coast, there's no need to go anywhere else for tires and service.
Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau. My family and I invested in a Kinetico system from CGC Water a while ago, and we're so glad we did. The team at CGC Water makes it so easy to get the best quality water running through my entire home and the best tasting drinking water right at my sink. Do yourselves a favor and start the new year off right. Find out how you can get a free Kinetico A200 RO this month by calling 904-694-2424. Make sure you tell them Brent sent you, and visit cgcwater.com as well, your local authorized independent Kinetico dealer.
The NHRA Mellow Yellow Drag Racing Series is headed to Gainesville Raceway for the Emily Motor Oil NHRA Gator Nationals, March 12th through 15th. Kids 12 and under are free in general admission. Get tickets early and save at NHRA.com.
It's a leap year, so leap into savings now at your neighborhood Ace. Wild Delight Birdseed, your choice of 3 blends, just $9.99 each. In colder weather, high-energy suet is an especially good bird food. Now 69 cents per packet at Ace. Fertilome Weed and Feed for St. Augustine grass, just $19.99 per bag. For fertilizers, garden soil, potting mix, mulch, and more, shop your nearby Ace Hardware. Find great deals and the location nearest you at acehardware.com. Sale ends March 2nd.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Hi, it's Nathan from Gordon Chevy in Orange Park, where the price you see online is the price you pay when you arrive. No gimmicks or tricks like add-on fluff stickers some other dealerships use to add thousands to the price. Not here. Fast, fair, and transparent is what you always can expect at Gordon. And right now, during our auto show discount event, take up to $11,000 off new Silverados, up to $5,000 off new Equinox. Find us at the money-saving end of Blanding Boulevard and online at GordonChevy.com. Chevy, find new roads.
Founded in Jacksonville, Vision is Priceless aims to assess, sustain, and improve the visual health of children and adults in Northeast Florida through education, vision screenings, treatment, and referrals. The Players is proud to support Vision is Priceless. It's 10 days until the Players.
A family dinner, a birthday party, or maybe it's lunch. Make Rena's Pizza part of your plans. Want a fresh one? Rena's has fresh ingredients and fresh food throughout the menu. And oh, the pizza is so good. Hey, everyone, this is Brent Martineau. We love bringing the show to Rena's Pizza. Find your way to Rena's Pizza. Rena's has you covered with 5 locations in Northeast Florida: Marsh Landing, Bay Meadows, Argyle Forest, San Jose, and Neptune Beach. Rena's Pizza. Be bold, Jacksonville, whether you need to be cold or hot. Bold City Heating and Air will help, like they did with my home. Hey, everyone, this is Brent Martineau. Bold City Heating and Air has a good reputation. Clean, professional, and honest AC service. Right now, there's a $49 winter maintenance special. Keep your AC running efficiently and lower electric bills. Your AC is your biggest monthly utility expense, so make sure it runs effectively. Be bold and call Bold City Heating and Air, 904-379-1648, or visit boldcityac.com.
Pop quiz. If you sell a home for $500,000, how much would a traditional real estate agent charge in commission? If you guessed $25,000 to $30,000, you're right. But if you think that's the only way, you're wrong. This is why thousands of homeowners are making the switch to Rex. With Rex, you get a dedicated agent and a full-service experience at a fraction of the cost. Rex uses game-changing technology to cut out the middleman and save homeowners tens of thousands of dollars in fees. See if you qualify by calling 833-REX-HOME. Remember, this is your home. Why give an insane amount of equity away to an agent? Rex offers the lowest fee in the industry without skimping on service. You'll work with an experienced real estate team team, with you every step of the way. Get the most out of your home. See if you qualify by calling 833-REX-HOME. 833-REX-HOME.
Florida, CQ 1057788.
Minimum fee may apply. Not licensed in all 50 states. Visit rexhomes.com to see if Rex is available in your area. Rex fully supports the principles of the Fair Housing Act and Equal Opportunity Act.
2020 models are on the lot at Arlington Toyota. And if you want to get behind the wheel of one today without buying, then all you need to do is rent a Toyota. Yes, rent from Arlington Toyota. Toyota Rent-A-Car is the best way to try it before you buy it. And renting from Arlington Toyota puts you behind the wheel fast and easy. So if you've got a road trip coming up, long weekend with friends, or maybe you just want to try out all the new 2020 bells and whistles, Toyota Rent-A-Car at Arlington Toyota has just what you need. With an amazing selection of 2020 Toyotas that are ready to hit the road today. Everything about renting a Toyota from Arlington Toyota is easy. They've got amazing 2020 models, simple online reservations, and their staff is always eager to help. 2020 models are ready to go, so if you've got a new 2020 ride on your mind, why not try it before you buy it with a Toyota Rent-A-Car from Arlington Toyota? Just visit arlingtontoyota.com. That's arlingtontoyota.com. And get your online reservation started today.
Love is in the air at Beard's Diamonds.
And you'll love this incredible offer. 0% financing store-wide.
Yes, get 0 interest financing for 5 years on anything and everything.
But hurry, this incredible free financing won't last long.
How about a $6,000 designer setting?
You pay just $100 a month. You just spread your payments out over 60 months.
And get her that piece of jewelry she's been dreaming of. How about a GIA certified diamond with a Decoria Veragio setting for $12,000?
You pay just $200 a month.
Buying fine jewelry has never been better.
People drive from all over to Beard's Diamonds for the best selection, best prices, and now 0% financing for 5 years.
Pick out that one-of-a-kind piece, then divide your total by 60, and that's what you pay a month.
Beard's Diamonds.
Located at the St. John's Town Center.
Or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Where exceptional is affordable.
Hey everybody, Trey Wingo here from Golic and Wingo. Thanks for making ESPN 690 the fastest growing sports station in Jackson. It's clear Northeast Florida has great taste in radio. I mean, you're listening to me every morning, right? Join the ESPN 690 team and get your business notice today. The First Coast is making the switch to ESPN 690, and there's no better time to get your business in front of them. Call ESPN 690 today, 245-8732. That's 245-8732. Grow your business today on the new ESPN 690.
The Players' Championship is almost here. Everybody, this is Brent Martineau. Do you have your tickets yet? Win a couple of weekly Captain's Club tickets and a shopping spree in the new PGA Tour fan shop with me. Enter to win right now on the contest page on ESPN690.com.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Everybody was like, we want to see how the Georgia offensive line is going to do. First thing, first play, we got a flea flicker. Guess what dog is barking first? The Georgia Bulldog. And that's one time I seen the stadium. I played in the stadium a lot. I played in the games, a whole bunch of games at home. But that's one time I see the stadium just erupt and just shake. I couldn't hear anything. It was one of the most exciting moments ever.
That is Solomon Kinley, offensive lineman from Georgia, and he is a big dude, man. 6'3", and he said there's some eighths in there as well. 336 pounds. He's a mauler.
Big boy.
And what a great personality, guys. From Rains High School. The fun part for us, this is what's cool about doing local sports, I think. This is why we do it. This is the fun part to me.
Yeah.
We told the story when he was a sophomore at Rains in the summer. Now, he's a big dude.
Sure.
Right? I mean, he's in his 300s playing offensive line as a sophomore, I think it was. And he's a lifeguard in the summer at the Rains pool. And so we had a fun story with it we did on the TV side. And now you think 6 years later, 7 years later, he's going to the NFL. And he's going to be a good player in the NFL, I think. But the personality from that shy kid on camera as a sophomore lifeguard to now where he is just oozing with personality, man. For an offensive lineman who's those guys are usually pretty quiet.
They're kind of in their own little world and everything. and Brent, you said it, man. That's what you live for, right? It's watching those guys grow. right? It's watching them come from, like being a lifeguard, being the quiet kid, and all of a sudden on the biggest stage in the NFL, getting ready to, realize his dreams. There's nothing better than just getting, to kind of basically buying a ticket and taking the ride with them.
Well, hey, here's the deal. You know who knows a lot about that?
Yeah.
Our next guest. Matthew Driscoll, the UNF men's basketball coach, joined us on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. And by the way, we appreciate everybody hanging with us. We're at the Monster Jam. You hear the trucks ripping and roaring. We got some music going on. We got a lot of background noise.
Oh, yeah.
But hopefully you can hear us okay. Hopefully you can hear Coach as well. Coach, you just heard us talk about Solomon Kinley. That's what it's all about, right?
Hey, let me ask you this question. If he comes off the edge and does a cannonball as a lifeguard at 145 pounds, I think his wave alone would allow me to perplex me out of the water if I needed saved. So I think when you have someone that size as a lifeguard, you have multiple things you can get accomplished.
Well, that's the thing, being a lifeguard, Brett. Like, did he even have to swim to somebody? Like, I feel like you can just, if you're that tall, touch the ground and walk over to somebody and save him, man. Like, I feel like he's got it made as a lifeguard.
He might even scare people out of the water. If you're drowning, he might, hey, get out of the water. You'd be, all right, I'm out. Sometimes that's what they say about me when I coach them hard. Hey,
there we go.
Coach Perkins, one of our assistants, one of his childhood friends growing up, one of his best friends used to drive Bigfoot. And it was really, really cool. And, yeah, he really, really loved driving it. When we were at Wyoming, believe it or not, we couldn't do the Monster Jam, but we had indoor rodeos. And I'm going to tell you what, those were a lot of fun, a lot of dirt being kicked around, a lot of prodding and you-know-what. And so, hey, here's what I want to know. Like, if you guys want to go out on a sunny day in Florida with 60 degrees, why not get an Oakley sunglasses contract and go sit on the other side of the stadium where the sun's shining, and then maybe you won't look like you're freezing like you look like on the radio right now.
Brett, hey, I'm not going to lie. Coach is making some great points right now.
He
okay?
is. Listen,
he's making some fantastic points.
Coach, it's been a battle. I have no idea where they're going to put me. There's restrictions all over. I've got 10 power outlets right in front of me, and they all didn't work.
How about Home Depot and the chimney? How about, like, sell a couple chimneys online while you're doing the show? I mean, something.
Yeah, tomorrow, I think Monday we'll be at the beach. Hopefully it's 85.
Now
and
we're
sunny.
talking.
It's a very good point. Hey, congratulations, man. 20th win last night. 13th win in ASUN play, which is a school record. And you talk about watching a team grow and guys grow. You got a fantastic group of seniors, and it's on to the ASUN tournament.
Well, first of all, first in 6 years, it's the third time we've won 20, and we've got another opportunity. You know, depending on how this thing shakes out tomorrow, we're off, which is really, really great. And you never know what can happen. Liberty's on the road, and they're obviously a half a game ahead of us, but Lipscomb's a tough out. They're very, very good at home, and if things don't go Liberty's way, we could also be champions in the regular season, which means a lot and says a lot about this group that we have. But tonight I'll be recruiting with the rest of the staff. Tomorrow we'll be out recruiting with the rest of the staff, trying to get ready for what's at hand when these guys leave us. But you go into Sunday, you're in your preparation. Your install, like football would do, Austin, back when you played.
Absolutely.
And then Monday, you fine-tune it a little bit. You take that Monster Jam, what do you call that, pit row, and you put a couple tweaks and a couple torques. Yep. And then next thing you know, you tip it off at home as the number 2 seed Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. So definitely locked and loaded. Garrett Sams became the third player in Division I history to get over 1,500 points. Ivan Gandea-Rosa will lead the league for the first time ever in the history of the league in assists for 3 straight years. Wajid Aminu's got a chance to be the all-time leading rebounder, his all-time leader in blocks already, and should be defensive. Not only should he be defensive player of the year, listen to this crazy stat. He has more blocks in the ASUN than 6 teams do as a team combined.
Wow. Dang.
Let me repeat that. He's got more blocks. We lead the league in blocks again. He's got more blocks in the ASUN than 6 teams have in the ASUN. So
throwing block parties out here, Brent.
We have a lot of good stuff going on.
That's awesome. Great stuff.
So, Coach, obviously with the tournament coming up now, I mean, you have to approach it as obviously you have to take care of business yourselves, but at the same time, you can kind of expect who your opponents are going to be a little bit. So, how much goes into it of scouting other teams and kind of having the idea of who you're going to play, and then obviously how much goes into just taking care of yourselves and making sure you guys handle business?
Well, I will tell you this, Austin. I know being a former athlete, you understanding this, coaches are always in preparation mode. We're never happy, even though I really need to enjoy more of what just transpired, but we're always on to the next thing, sort of like Jay-Z says. And he's not talking about Beyonce on the left. However, the left column is at where you want to be, right? So
Absolutely.
being with Beyonce ain't bad. But, the thing that we do right now is we're getting locked into who it might be. So we look back at those games while I'm driving on the road recruiting at those potential opponents. And then the other thing is you really have to understand who you are and see where you can tighten the ship a little bit and really make sure your guys are physically and really spiritually, in the sense that their mental togetherness and their mental esprit de corps is at a high, because it's all about survive in advance. And it doesn't matter if it's by 1 or 21. It's all about survive in advance. And as you go into this tournament, if you look at it, where there's only 2 teams in Florida that have 20 wins, us and Florida State. And the only team below us is Florida. So, what we've done is really special. But we're in the A-Sun, and it's a one-bid league. So what you do on Tuesday night is the only thing that matters, because we know from experience you can't win a championship unless you win the first game. So that's kind of where we are on a mindset as we take these first Friday and Saturday off today and tomorrow in preparation for getting our bodies ready for that next level.
That's awesome, and obviously you'll find out tomorrow night who you're going to play in that game, where the seedings, all that good stuff. Hey, I want to ask you something. I brought you up earlier in the show. I don't know if you were listening or if your ears were ringing today, or you just wanted to comfort us because we looked cold. But we were talking about a coach. You don't have to comment on this part of it as much, but we were talking about a coach that coached baseball in high school, and he got fired after winning a state championship because he swore on the bus in celebration. And swore quite a bit. It was pretty profanity laced. But I remember doing the story with you, and I brought it up that you guys don't swear, and if you swear, you drop down and do push-ups. Is that still the case? And share with everybody why you did that or do that, and how that all came about.
Well, first of all, when you did the video, they had me doing push-ups on the video, and you made it seem like I had just sworn because you had got the pictures. But what we also do is, when we miss a layup as coaches, when we do pre-practice, we got to do 10 push-ups. So you got me on video doing push-ups, but it was for the wrong purpose. But to answer your question is yes. And it really goes back to when I left. I really was I didn't like the way I was with the words that I used at times, but I also knew I could stop using them. And when I got to go to Baylor with Coach Drew, actually at Valparaiso with Coach Drew, there was a no cussing policy. Like, you weren't going to do it. And I thought to myself, there's no way. But we didn't do it. And when we got to Baylor, it was the same thing. And so I just stopped, almost like being an addict. I just stopped. And my perfect no, do I sin? Of course. And have I sworn a couple times? Yes. And it's funny, I'll tell you a good story about it. We still do it. And I think it's really important, because if the president comes and watch practice and all of a sudden you're not swearing, but when he's not there, you do it. So then really, are you true to who you are? If little children come to practice to watch practice and you don't swear, but when they leave, you swear, well, why do you have to swear was kind of my mindset when we got the job.
Good point.
So that's why we don't do it. Like, you don't need to do it. If you're not going to do it all the time, then don't do it. And I'll tell you a good story. Garrett Sam, he got me so upset at Arkansas as a freshman. And he got me, it was like a 2-point game, and I was so hot that I got the assistants together during the timeout, and I said something, and I went down and I did push-ups. Well, I didn't know that the camera was recording me. So when they come back from the commercial, they said, Man, even the head coach is doing push-ups. And Garrett Sam's dad, this is a great story. Garrett Sam's dad texted Coach Perkins and said, please tell me Coach wasn't doing push-ups because of my son. So, it's something that we're really, really cognizant of, and we really want to help these young men. It doesn't mean you're going to be the greatest father. It don't mean you're going to be the greatest husband. But it does have something about it that can help you in life, that it's not something that has to be laced and it has to be every other word and yada, yada, yada. And so that's why we do it.
Yeah, it's a pretty good story. And like I said, you can go back and watch that story that I erroneously put Coach doing push-ups on.
Nice work, Brent.
On Action Sports Jax as well. All right, hey, we got to get running in a minute. I'm glad you called in, though. And
you got to get running or driving? Which one?
Well, driving or
hopefully driving.
To be honest with you, do nothing. We're just going to hit a break in a couple of minutes. But I want to get you real quick, big picture. College basketball, weird this year. 7 different number ones. I know you pay attention to everybody. I don't feel like there's a dominant team. I mean, you got Duke, who seems like they're good at times, and then not so good. Your former coaching staff in Baylor, very good. Dayton, really good. You played them earlier in the year. This is going to be crazy March, isn't it?
Here's something, Brent, for you that I think you'll appreciate. 3 of the top 10 net teams in America, which are currently, quote-unquote, the best teams, whatever, like 3 of those dudes we played. And I'm telling you right now, like, Creighton's as good as anybody. Dayton's as good as anybody. Florida State can be a beast on any given night. Iowa is really, really good. Florida, I know everybody's up and down about them. So my answer to your questions is, in short mode, we probably got more people that have the opportunity to win a championship than we may have ever had in basketball before. It's just that wide open. And everything depends on, and you know this better than anyone, it all depends on seeding and who you go up against, because sometimes that kryptonite is what really can hurt you. And when that kryptonite comes in, and it's one of those teams where you're just not good. You could be, let's say you're Gonzaga, and you're 29, 32-2, and you face that one team that you're just not good against because they do something you're just not good at. Next thing you know, you get knocked out, and everybody says, well, look at them, they can't this, or look at them, they can't. It's all about those matchups are so critical.
If I'm a critic, do I say it's watered down and that's why it's wide open, or it's just great
No,
because it's parity and wide open?
No. You cannot use that word, and I'm going to tell you why. Because you don't have early entry in the draft. We went from 15 scholarships to 13 scholarships. It is not watered down. What it is that there's just no dominance of teams like there was maybe in the last couple of years where there's 4, 5, 6, 7. Like, look at Baylor's team. They got a Division III guy. They got a guy nobody wanted to take. They got a transfer from a school like ours. They got a JUCO kid. What you got is you got a bunch of really good coaches that know how to coach, that have built their teams the right way. Like, that's what's special about us. Like, we've embraced who we are. Like, we shoot threes. Don't be embarrassed. That's what we do. So you got me excited. So I really think it's not watered down, man. It's not watered down. It's just parity right now.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. And by the way, you do shoot threes pretty well. You've made more than anybody in the entire country, and hopefully a lot of them next week. We'll be there, by the way, for Tuesday's home game at UNF Arena.
Oh, cool.
Tickets are on sale. Check it out, UNFospreys.com. But hopefully you can join us on Tuesday.
Hey, Brent, can I say one more thing about what you just said?
Sure.
Listen, not only do we shoot threes, but here's what people don't realize. We have the greatest three-point differential in college basketball. We are number 1 in three-pointers made and three-pointers allowed. We only give up, in our league, we give up less than 4 a game. So there's some incredible statistic. Like, we've scored 1,140 points from 3, and we've given up 435, something like, I don't have it in front of me. But my point is, people think about the makes, but they don't realize how well we guard it. We also lead the league in block shots. Like, Wajid Aminu is going to be Defensive Player of the Year again. So it isn't like we don't guard the arc as well, too. So I'm really proud of our guys for that. We just got to continue to rebound better, All right, listen, you got to go. I see what's going on behind you. You got great, maybe a little bit of sunlight. Get warm, get a Chimney, get an Oakley sponsorship, and thanks for having me on. See you, gentlemen.
Hey, have a great weekend.
Appreciate
we'll
it,
see
Coach.
You Tuesday, and we'll get you a pair of those Oakleys if we get the Oakley sponsorship. You just let the search for a sunglass sponsorship.
I like
love it. Coach Matthew Driscoll, UNF's done a fantastic job. Hey, they can get it done.
Yeah.
They can go to the NCAA tournament. They're 3 wins away, and as they would like to say, they're 1-0. That's all they're trying to be on Tuesday night. But they got to go 1-0 3 times, and they get a chance to dance in March. We'll be right back with an hour left of the week. We talk some more football, of course. A little bit more about Austin's fight coming up next week, too. That's a week away. It's a big week for everybody around here to lead off March. We'll be back. Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
It happens only once every 4 years, and it's happening this Saturday. Leap Day 2020, this Saturday, the 29th of February. And what better way to celebrate this rare occasion than with something even more rare at Diamonds Direct. Come and see a special collection of precious diamonds and colored gemstones, and let us help you pick out something they will enjoy every day, but especially on every Leap Day in the future as a reminder of your love. Put this extra day of 2020 to good use and do something truly memorable with a diamond bracelet, a pair of diamond earrings, a sapphire and diamond tennis bracelet, or an exquisite certified diamond. Ask about extra savings and extra financing options on this one extra day of the year. And like with any other day of the year, you can count on Diamonds Direct for the guaranteed lowest price and a free lifetime warranty. One that will cover you for every leap year way into the future. Diamonds Direct. Take the leap and make this Saturday count. Get directions and store hours now at diamondsdirect.com.
Tax problems can be extremely stressful and cause financial devastation. The tax attorneys at J. David Tax Law are right here in Jacksonville to be your personal advocate and resolve your IRS or state sales tax issues. J. David Tax Law focuses on your needs and case outcomes. Don't be fooled by these big out-of-town tax companies that only focus on getting you to sign up and pay without even working with an attorney. At J. David Tax Law, only highly experienced tax attorneys will represent you. Get the help you need with tax debt, payroll taxes, bank levies, wage garnishments, tax liens, and unfiled returns. If you have federal or state sales tax debt, have a sit-down with J. David Tax Law. Your first step is a no-cost consultation. Call J. David Tax Law at 904-507-4777, 904-507-477. Peace of mind only a click or phone call away, 904-507-4777, or go to jdavidtaxlaw.com.
Hey guys, Mike Golick here. Athletes are still athletes when they're off the field. That's why they still need to make good choices, like staying hydrated with Bolt 24, with antioxidant vitamins A and C, electrolytes from watermelon and sea salt, and no artificial sweeteners or flavors. Bolt 24 is all-day hydration for all-day athletes. It's available in delicious flavors like watermelon, strawberry, tropical mango, and mixed berry, and can be found in the sports drink aisle at most major retailers. Bolt 24, all-day hydration.
Legacies are built step by step, mile by mile. Through this movement, new possibilities are born. After the late nights and early practices, past the winding roads and unexpected detours, through the rest stops and timeouts, new lanes begin to open up, and that's when the world starts to take note. Because movement builds on itself and makes discovery inevitable. At Goodyear, we believe movement drives possibility beyond the ordinary, and that's where legacies begin. Goodyear. More driven.
Zero Res can clean your carpets, upholstery, area rugs, tile, grout, granite countertops, and much more. And right now is the time to call Zero Res because they're offering the hottest price of the year. You get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $99. Call Zero Res at 904-287-5727.
Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau. My family and I invested in a Connecticut system from CGC Water a while ago, and we're so glad we did. The team at CGC Water makes it so easy to get the best quality water running through my entire home and the best tasting drinking water right at my sink. And it even makes the coffee taste better. Do yourselves a favor and start the new year off right. Financing options available with approved credit. Call 904-694-2424. Tell them Brent sent you or visit cgcwater.com, your local authorized independent Connecticut dealer.
There's a new sports medicine practice in Jacksonville.
Hi, my name is Stan Longenecker.
Hi, I'm Dr. Grimsley.
I'm Dr. Michael Adams.
Ortho Edge.
We believe that the patient pays money for a doctor and should be seen by a doctor.
They're getting the most technologically available medicine there is.
Ortho Edge.
You're going to get a much better experience with your physician. We all see our patients every time.
Find out more about us at orthoedge.com.
We're in the DePaul building attached to St. Vincent's Medical Center, Riverside.
It's a leap year, so leap into savings now at your neighborhood Ace. Wild Delight Birdseed, your choice of 3 blends, just $9.99 each. In colder weather, high-energy suet is an especially good bird food. Now 69 cents per packet at Ace. Fertilome Weed and Feed for St. Augustine grass, just $19.99 per bag. For fertilizers, garden soil, potting mix, mulch, and more, shop your nearby Ace Hardware. Find great deals and the location nearest you at acehardware.com. Sale ends March 2nd.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
3, 2, 1. The countdown to the 50th Daytona Supercross is on. The high-flying, heart-pounding action happens Saturday, March 7th at the World Center of Racing. Get closer to the action than anywhere else on the Monster Energy AMA Supercross circuit as the top racers go bar to bar at Daytona. Don't let another second pass you by. Get tickets and trackside access by calling 1-800-PIT-SHOP or visiting DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
Be bold, whether you want to be cold or hot. Bold City Heating and Air will help. Hey, everybody, this is Brent Martineau. I needed a new air conditioning system last summer and called the good folks at Bold City Heating and Air. It was worth the call. A competitive price, good communication, fantastic service. A new system is a big investment for your family. You want a good experience. My family had that at Bold City Heating and Air. You can too. They will help you design the perfect system for your home while staying within your budget. Be bold and give Bold City Heating and Air a call or visit boldcityac.com.
I'm Thea Jeffers, owner of Breezy Jazz Club and T-Works Interior Decorating. It doesn't matter where you come from, it's possible to own your own business. But starting a business isn't easy. The Jacksonville Women's Business Center helped give me the confidence to keep going when the going got tough. At JWBC, I got the training, networking, and support I needed to help me reach my goals. To find out more about how JWBC can help you, visit jaxwbc.com.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Austin Lane from Action Sports Jax. Thanks for making ESPN 690 the fastest growing sports station in Jacksonville. It was a lot of fun playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars for 3 years, and I'm having just the same amount of fun on the radio every single day with ESPN 690. So I'm reaching out to you to be part of our team and grow your business with ESPN 690. Give us a holler at 245-8732. That's 245-8732. We look forward to hearing from you and hope you join the team.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need
I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anna Jar and Levine studios. Anna Jar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Hey, it's Mike Golick from Golick & Wingo. You're listening to ESPN 690.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. No word yet from the Warriors on whether Steph Curry will play Sunday against the Wizards. He's been out for 4 months after a broken left hand. The NFL Scouting Combine continues in Indianapolis. ESPN's Mel Kiper Jr. says it's tough to grade Oregon quarterback Justin Herbert.
He seems like he's settled in. Maybe getting out of that Oregon offense will help him. He's going to be a tough evaluation, certainly. And I still think he goes in the top 10, top 5, top 6, very possible. So I think he held his own.
Mel Kiper on Golick and Wingo. The Arizona Cardinals will be the home team for a game in Mexico City during the upcoming NFL season. The Cardinals beat the 49ers back in 2005 in the first regular season game in Mexico. IOC President Thomas Bach held a conference call today with 3 major media outlets in Japan. Bach says the Summer Games in Tokyo are set to open as scheduled on July 24th in spite of growing concerns about coronavirus. Brendan Steele, the leader at 6 under at the Honda Classic.
You love iced tea. It's smooth and refreshing with just the right flavor. You also love to be a little twisted. That's why Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea has everything you love. Because it's made with real brewed tea and a kick. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Be a little twisted. Drink responsibly.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
I think that's fair to say. Like I said, I don't regret anything I did at Florida State, but I know I definitely could have accomplished more. I went to Florida State to win championships, to win games. Obviously, that didn't go as planned, but God still put me here. He put me in this position to be here today, so I'm blessed.
That's Cam Akers, Florida State running back. I like this guy. I'm telling you, there are few people that I've said at the college level, you go to like a spring, I think the spring games are the most overrated Saturdays of the year.
Yeah.
I really do. I mean, it's fine that they have them. I'm not, if you want to go and enjoy, that's fine. I don't put any stock into them at all.
Sure.
At all. None. But I will say, when I watched Cam Akers in that spring game, his first year at Florida State, I was like, whoa, this cat is going to be good.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked the part. And he was good. But he was often, in my opinion, at Florida State, used wrong, used behind an offensive line that was horrific, used in a stretch of years that were obviously not very good for Florida State and full of adversity all around the football team, offensively, quarterbacks, coaches, offensive line, and the rest. So I actually had asked him at the Combine this week, I said, with all due respect, you had a lot of great plays and had some great success at Florida State, but do you feel like there's so much left in the tank that we haven't seen yet? And that was his response to it.
Yeah.
Because I believe that. I really do. I think somebody's going to get a hold of Cam Akers, and they're going to utilize him the right way, and I think he's got a chance to be special. I thought he should have been more special in college than he was, and I don't really blame him for that.
Sure.
But I don't know if that's the right thing to do or not. I blame more Florida State, the way they used him or lack thereof, and all the messes that they had going on.
Yep.
But they should have gotten more out of Cam Akers in his tenure at Florida State than they did. Maybe the NFL will get more out of him.
Well, listen, and this is where the Combine and this is where scouting comes in, right? Because it's like you said, Cam Akers played on some pretty bad teams in a pretty bad environment at Florida State. But every once in a while, you'd see these glimpses of Cam Akers, right? And you'd see these glimpses of brilliance. And then that's what NFL teams, that's what they're all about, where they understand that sometimes, whether it's the circumstances of the coaching or of the talent that you surround yourself with, it's not up to par. So with that being said, I think if Cam Akers can have a great Combine, obviously, and nail the interview portion, his stock's only going to go up from there. And listen, it doesn't matter if you're a D3 guy, if you played in Canada, if you played at junior college, or if you're Cam Akers coming from a kind of a bad situation. Like, if you're good, you're good. And I think with Cam Akers, and scouts realize this as well, he is good. And I probably watched him to see maybe like a second round or third round, grade coming out of this Combine.
How many guys does that happen to? I think we talk about it in the NBA sometimes. It fascinates me that I think we just mentioned it last week, like a Chandler Parsons or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, hey, good player, but wow. In the NBA, you have that in the NBA.
Yeah.
A lot of small school guys end up in the NBA that you really even haven't heard about, and they get picked maybe in like the 18th overall pick or the 26th overall pick. You're like, wow, who is this guy?
Sure.
And now, listen, these days it seems like everybody in the NBA averages 18 points a game. Like, if you don't average 18 points a game, you probably shouldn't be on the roster.
You're not really good. Exactly. I hear you.
Everybody averages like 12 to 18.
Sure.
It just feels like that. But I think in the NFL, there's probably so many stories that jump out of players that were just okay in college, maybe underused in college, somewhat disappointing careers in college, and then perform better at the NFL level. We talk about the other side of it. We talk about these great guys that are picked high and they have so much expectation and they are busts. They fail. They don't live up to it. We don't talk about the other side. And see, I'm not talking about the guy that let's see, I'm going to try to find one real quick. gosh, I can't even – well, listen, I'm not even talking about like the Gardner Minshew. Okay, like the Minshew that he kind of is a journeyman in college, gets picked in the 6th round, and now obviously even this first year he outperformed, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about that guy. I'm talking about the guy. How many times do we see a guy that is 5-star guy, 4-star guy, supposed to come in and be great at any position, has an okay career, but then goes to the NFL and is like, boom,
blows up.
has a great career.
Sure.
And again, I kind of just thinking of the top, so it's not like I've done any homework on this. I don't even know who else would be in that category.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, I think Cam Akers could be in that category.
Mm-hmm. No, I absolutely agree. Because, listen, you can't teach speed. You can't teach elusiveness. Sure, you can coach somebody on maybe having better instincts of where to hit the hole and everything at the running back position. But with what we've seen with Cam Akers, because I saw a lot of Florida State games last year, man, and like I said, every once in a while, and it wasn't much to the help of his offensive line, but that guy broke loose for one, and he showed what he's capable of. So I think scouts are obviously intrigued by that. Obviously, scouts love speed, especially in the NFL now with these high-scoring offense. They love speed. They love to be able to put a guy in a, like whether it's in jet formation. I think Cam Akers can do a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? I think Cam Akers you can put up in a couple spots. So I think he's very intriguing from that standpoint. And once again, you can't teach speed. So I look for Cam Akers to have a great combine and then improve his stock.
Do you think it matters at all? Like if you take a look at, again, it's kind of a little bit of a different era, but right before Cam Akers was Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
And I like Dalvin Cook a lot. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I thought he was going to be unbelievable in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was a bit risky. I couldn't figure it out. Like I didn't have a good feel for him coming out. Well, he's been fantastic. Obviously had the 1 year with injury, but he's been fantastic.
Absolutely.
And so I wonder, like, does that matter? Like, do you say, hey, this guy went to Florida State, and this guy was a really good athlete, and look how he translated to the NFL?
Sure.
I don't know. I mean, it's an individual basis, but I wonder if, like, almost Dalvin Cook's success helps Cam Akers climb boards a little bit.
Well, and listen, and it's always kind of a deceiving thing, right, to be a running back in college football. Because, for instance, look at the Wisconsin Badgers. The Wisconsin Badgers turn out running backs every single year for the NFL draft. Right now, Melvin Gordon kind of broke the mold, and he's become a pretty good player. James White for the Patriots, he's more of that receiving. But like I remember back with like Ron Dane. Ron Dane was the Heisman Trophy winner. He was the rushing leader, and he didn't really amount to anything after that. Right, and there's been a couple guys. Monte Ball from Wisconsin, kind of the same thing, where it's like, obviously you play behind these great offensive linemen, just like, in Georgia, where they have these big, beastly offensive linemen. Alabama is another prime example, where you play behind, these uber-talented guys who just, push people back, but then all of a sudden you get to the NFL, and it's a different ballgame. Now all of a sudden you're not manhandling people anymore. Now all of a sudden you got to make guys miss a little bit more. So I think it depends on the type of player, obviously. I think with a guy like Cam Akers, who he's kind of like that shifty guy, kind of like that explosive type dude, I think that translates well to the NFL. Not to say that, there's like the bruisers out there that can't translate as well, but I'm just saying it's a different type of ball game, a different type of style.
Probably haven't talked about running backs that have come out of these area schools like Florida, Florida State, Georgia, Miami, enough.
Yeah.
I mean, just think about some of the names that have been around. I mean, from Georgia, obviously, and Herschel Walker.
Yeah.
But even Terrell Davis and Noshawn Moreno had a good couple years.
Sure.
I mean, he obviously isn't like a Hall
Chubb.
of Fame
Well, I mean, Chubb right now is playing good for Cleveland.
Season.
Yeah.
And now you might
Derrick
have the
Henry,
biggest stud.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry for Alabama, but you might have the biggest stud coming in, not bigger than Herschel Walker, but DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
DeAndre Swift got a lot of attention. It was really interesting at the Combine. we kind of had fun with it because on podium 2, let's call it, I don't know what the heck it is, but let's call it podium 2. Over here, it was LaMichael Pirine from Florida. On podium 3 right next to him was DeAndre Swift.
Yep.
And I'm just telling this isn't like I made it into a Florida-Georgia thing and a Georgia-Florida thing because I thought it was funny that they were right next to each other.
Of course, man.
And this will show you how much these guys are on their best behavior. I tried to kind of egg them on a little bit. I was kind of like I was a little bit like the guy at the media day.
Trying to pour some gasoline in the fire.
Dumb questions.
Yeah.
I've asked plenty of dumb questions, but I was kind of that guy in this instance.
Sure, yeah.
It was just ironic to me that they were both right. Now, it's all alphabetical.
Yeah.
But it was ironic that they were right there.
That's awesome.
So I asked LaMichael Pirine about, hey, you getting any ribbon because Georgia's beating you the last couple of years.
Of course.
He would not bite, man.
Nothing.
It shows you how these guys are on the best behavior.
Oh, you got to be,
So,
man.
well,
Everything's an interview.
I didn't think he would say much, but then I asked DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
And I thought he would. He just kind of smiled about
Well,
it.
especially if you won the past couple of years,
I mean,
you have the right to celebrate.
I thought there'd be some backdoor ribbing going on.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you can tell how serious of a nature it was. Like it wasn't a lot of it. It was a little smile.
Sure.
But it wasn't like I feel like if you got him in a different setting, he would have been all over that.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And he didn't. But what I noticed too was interesting. It was Michael Pirine. Everybody, there's a lot of media there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of tripods, a lot of microphones, a lot of reporters, all that stuff. But man, the attention on DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift, his podium area went like 10 deep.
Wow.
Michael Pirine, and this isn't a knock on Pirine. It's more of a wow on Swift. People were really interested in him. And like Pirine's might have been 2 or 3 deep, and that was it. So it was a noticeable amount of people around DeAndre Swift. That guy could be something. I mean, that could be – I'm interested in him. He's already gone to kind of running back you, it feels like, at times.
Yeah.
And he could be really special. Plus, I think he's a tough kid. So it'll be interesting to see how the running backs shake out. There's so much talk about the wide receiver class. It's so deep. It's almost like you could pick one out of a hat and you'd be happy.
Sure.
I'm not sure. Running backs don't work that way. But we do know in this class there will be 2-3 running backs that become stars in the league even if they were picked in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round.
Yep.
And that's what happens. Who are those guys going to be? It's always one of the most intriguing positions. And I know what you're saying. Listen, that happens at all the positions. Yes, but running back, it seems to happen more. How many times do we hear you can get a running back in the 6th round? You get a running back in the 4th round. You don't need to pick one in the top 5. Biggest knock against a guy like Fournette when the Jags picked them there. So who will emerge in that running back spot will be interesting.
Well, and also keep in mind, too, from the Jaguars' perspective, obviously they don't need a starting tailback right now, but that change of pace back. That's where you can get a guy in the 4th or 5th round that can be that dynamic type of dude. I'm reminded of Alvin Kamara, right? Like Alvin Kamara coming out of college, kind of on the smaller side, obviously a great pass catcher, but he was brought in to essentially be a 3rd down back. Well, he eventually just grew into the starter because he was that good. And I think from the Jaguars' perspective, we always talk about getting that change of pace back. Well, what better way to do it than the NFL draft in the 3rd or 4th or 5th round?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they go, and that is the kind of back you get that emerges, and that's where you pick those kind of backs, 5th round, 6th round, one of those selections. Anything from the Combine, seriously, I mean, we kid around a little bit. Like, I'm not glued to the Combine. I really am not. I'll read the headlines. I saw the tight end got hit in the face with the ball. That wasn't good. I saw the punter bench pressed like more than anybody else.
Yep.
That was a moment.
Yeah.
I saw the Ruggs 4.27 speed.
Yeah, that was my big takeaway.
And really the big takeaway, see, it is. It's always the big takeaway, which I just don't get it. I don't get it because of twofold. One, guys are running 4.4s left and right now. And 4.4 is fast. And I understand, listen, if you're Tyreek Hill, that's 4.2 fast.
Yep.
Well, that's fast. I get that. There is a difference, and that's important. But you're doing it in your underwear and your spandex. You're not doing it with pads on.
And you're not doing it out of your stance either. You're doing it out of track stance.
I just don't know what some of these drills help me do. I feel like they would confuse me as a scout more than help me as a scout.
Sure.
What in the world does Ruggs running 4.27 do for me that I couldn't see on tape because he's in full uniform off the line of scrimmage? And do I say his tape looks fast? I see him in live action, it looks fast. I don't care what he runs right out here in underwear, 40 yards. That shouldn't matter.
So here's the problem, Brent, right? It's because the NFL, it's a competitive place, all right? And in the game of football itself, whether it's Pop Warner, college, high school, it's all competitive. So you want to see guys go out there, run the 40-yard dash, compete, and try to get the highest time, and get all the glory. I get that standpoint. But I think sometimes, and we talked about Al Davis prior this week, Al Davis was a guy who was absolutely infatuated with fast 40 times. And I think sometimes people fall in love with these numbers so much where it can kind of influence their decision of what they see on film. And on the flip side, too, I think people can be turned off by numbers so much in the scouting department where it influences what they see on film as well. For instance, we talk about DK Metcalf, right? DK Metcalf had the fast 40 time. Very intriguing, man. The guy is built like a G.I. Joe. He's legit. Okay, he's great. Then the shuttle time comes out, and it's like, I don't know how I feel about DK Metcalf anymore. If you can't run a fast shuttle, well, then how is his footwork going to be out of the brakes? Probably not that good. Well, I watched DK Metcalf this year, man, and he looked like the real deal to me. So it's that fine line, right? Like, you want guys to perform, you want guys to run well and everything like that, but I feel like sometimes where if a guy doesn't do certainly like too well in a spot that you predicted him to do well in, you can't let that influence, because at the end of the day, like Hayden Hurst said last Friday, or like I've been saying, the eye in the sky does not lie. And if you watch the film enough, you do your due diligence, you're going to know what type of player you have more than the 40-yard dash, more than the broad jump, and more than the vertical jump.
I should have checked ratings last night for that. I didn't.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I didn't see. I might have deleted the ratings anyway. But I wonder how they did. And listen, there's not a ton going on right now. You got to be dialed into the NBA, maybe some college hoops. So it's you can certainly – it's okay that they're doing it. Like, if you like watching, I'm not knocking you for watching it. I just don't see some of the value in it. Yeah. I really wonder, and this I have these conversations kind of out loud with all of you, because I think about it to myself of do we really need OTAs, right? What do they do? Do we really need it at the length we have it? Could you accomplish the same thing in a month instead of 2.5 months? Could you accomplish the same thing in 3 weeks on the field?
There are so many players right now like, yes, Brent, yes, please keep going. Yes, please keep campaigning for this.
And that's what I would campaign for if I were those guys. It's a brutal season. It's not the longest of seasons, but it's a brutal season.
It is.
Once you get there. And I want, to be honest with you, I want to do it if I was an organization, because I want my guys mentally sharp and ready to play. I don't want them like, gosh, this has been a long year. The more I can hold that off in any sense of employment, any kind of workplace, the more you can get away from that thought process. Is it Friday yet?
Yeah.
Is it Friday at 5 right now? Well, you're going to have people that like to work.
Yes.
The energy will Koo's been counting down.
Put in the parking lot.
But, so that's kind of my point in it. It's like, what is the point of it other than babysitting and conditioning and all those things?
Yeah.
And then the other thing I would say is the combine. I'm not saying you have to do away with the whole thing. Do we need 9 days of it? I would shorten it up to minimal drills and on-field performance stuff.
Yes.
And I would really concentrate on the medicals and the interviews. And I would call it a day. I would call it a week and 4 days instead of 9 days.
No, I agree with that. Absolutely. And I think if we're talking about the OTAs here, Brent, are they too long? Absolutely. And like, it's funny because coaches use OTAs a little differently than, than their peers. Like, some coaches do it to kind of, break in their new team, right? Like, this is the tempo we're going to set this year. These are expectations. Let's get after it. And some coaches kind of slow it down a little bit with OTAs and, they teach. From the OTA standpoint, is it too long? Yes, but I do think it does benefit the rookies. So whether if you're the CBA right now, you're the NFLPA, and you're trying to argue for what you want in the CBA, listen, I'm all for cutting down the OTAs. I think you have every right to do that, and maybe to set up some kind of like rookie mini camp, and that's it. But I cannot state this enough, where it is important to get rookies acclimated to what they're about to experience, right? Like the last thing, if I'm a football coach, is wanting a group of rookies that I've invested in, obviously, that the team is invested in, to come into training camp, and the first time they put on their pads, their helmet, and they get acclimated to the football practice is the first day in training camp. I don't want that. I want those guys coming into training camp ready to roll, knowing what to expect already. So from that standpoint, I want something for the rookies where they can just get acclimated. I'm not saying you got to break them like horses or overwork them. I'm just saying get them a little acclimated to what you want, the type of X's and O's, the schemes, all that stuff, and then go from there. But no, dragging out OTAs, to me, it's pointless.
Yeah, February, March, June, and most of July. That's what guys have off. So is that a good amount? Yeah, I guess it is. Like, I can understand the argument against me here.
Mm-hmm.
I just think this stuff gets dragged out for other purposes than useful purposes. So from a logic point of view, it doesn't do much for me. I think you're exactly right. I do think they have to get acclimated. You know what else? I think they got to get acclimated to their teammates.
Yeah.
Because you have 32-year-old men you're playing with, and quite frankly, you're a young man at 22 years old or 21 years old or sometimes now 20 coming out.
Yeah.
What I also think is silly about, can you imagine me going to work, all right, and for 2 months, January, February, season's over, let's just say February, March. Let's just say February, March, and first part of April, I can't talk to my bosses. Like, I don't understand why you can't talk to the coaches.
Yeah.
I think that's dumb. Like, do I understand it? Yes, I understand because people will abuse it, and maybe coaches they'll demand too much. Well, you can restrict some of that.
Sure.
And by the way, do we really think they don't talk to the coaches?
I know, right?
I mean,
no comment from me, Brent.
Are people monitoring their text messages?
No comment from me, Brent.
But I guess what I'm getting at is a little bit more classroom work,
yeah,
iPad work, all that stuff. I don't think that's bothersome to me. But I do think the have to be here. And then what you do is you don't have to be here. It's voluntary. You say it's voluntary. Well, no, it's not. We know that. We talk about that
we've heard that before. Yes.
So, that's been a big deal here.
Exactly.
Voluntary.
And listen,
is it voluntary, by the way, hurt the culture?
Yeah.
Here in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Last year.
And listen, I'm all for having the group of guys together in the weight room because I do think you build some kind of camaraderie there and everything like that. But to expect guys to be here when you say, during OTAs and the quote-unquote voluntary workouts, to me it's crazy because you're not dealing with college kids, okay? You're dealing with a bunch of grown men. And let's be honest here. If these grown men are not doing their due diligence and working out in the offseason, they're not going to last too long, okay? I mean, that's just the way the league works, and I think they understand that.
Weed themselves out.
Yeah, exactly. So either you work hard, obviously, in the offseason, and you prep your body for the adversity ahead, or you don't and get cut. It's simple as that. And then guess what? You weed out the weak ones like you just said.
Yeah, we'll come back. We'll visit some of the big topics of the week. A little more on Austin's fight coming up. Some crazy headlines, balling and falling. A lot to do before the end of this one. We are live at Monster Jam tomorrow night. Get your tickets, monsterjam.com. As cheap as $15 a piece.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Breezy and cool, but with lots of sun today. The afternoon high in the low to mid 60s. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, where for a limited time,
0% financing store-wide.
Find out more at beardsdiamonds.com. ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
I'm Jake Mitchell. Happy Friday. The Jaguars aren't the only team in the NFL that will need a passport this season. The Arizona Cardinals will be hosting a game at Estadio Azteca. That's in Mexico City. Their opponent will be announced when the rest of the schedule comes out. All eyes are in the NFL scouting combine this week, and the guy making some noise is a punter. Yes, a punter from Arizona State. He leads the combine so far with 25 reps on the bench press. That's 225 pounds that he bench pressed 25 times. It's currently more than the linemen in the scouting combine. And finally today, the Icemen are back home at the VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena. Puck drops at 7 p.m. Stay connected with ESPN 690 while you're at work by listening on ESPN690.com. The best kept secret in tires is TireOutlet.com. Tire Outlet offers wholesale prices with premium service, and TireOutlet.com always has a safety-first focus. Locations throughout the First Coast, there's no need to go anywhere else for tires and service.
Let's say you have ED, male impotence. Or maybe you suffer from PE and can't satisfy your partner. If you have either or both of these embarrassing conditions, Prime Men's Medical Center has the solution. Meet Dr. Rabinski, a specialist in men's health.
If you're experiencing ED or PE, Prime Men's Medical Center has custom blended medications designed just for you. There's no pain and no surgery. If you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or prostate issues, not a problem. If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, Prime Men's Medical Center has patients lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. You'll see results on your first visit guaranteed, or your visit is free. And best of all, it's affordable.
For a private consultation with our highly skilled physicians, call 904-206-8105. We guarantee that you'll see results on your first visit, or there's no charge for your consult. Call Prime Men's Medical Center now at 904-206-8105. That's 904-206-8105.
Hey, drag race fans, NHRA Mellow Yellow Drag Racing returns to Gainesville Raceway March 12th through the 15th with the Amalie Motor Oil NHRA Gator Nationals. There's action all weekend, including daily NHRA 101 tours and nostalgia cars to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Pro Stock and the Hot Rod Junction in the pits. See the Nitro Flames on Friday night with 330-mile-an-hour qualifying racing, plus a special night race with the Black Pearl Jet car. Saturday features the exclusive NHRA Nitro School for fans and the NHRA Streetcar Showdown with the quickest versus the fastest grudge match. Sunday is the final race day, including the Seal Master Track Walk-Along with pre-race festivities in the fan zone. Champions are crowned, and for the first time, the winner circle is on the track for an up-close and personal experience with the race champions. Don't miss all this action with your race ticket. Get your seats now at NHRA.com. NHRA Mellow Yellow Drag Racing, March 12th through the 15th, Gainesville Raceway. Speed for all.
You earned it. We double it. This week, Family Kia of St. Augustine will double your tax refund. Now, your $500 tax refund is worth $1,000. Your $1,500 tax check doubles to $3,000 towards a brand new Family Kia. And our selection has never been better. Right now, you can own a new 2020 Kia Sorento LX from just $20,999. That's a brand new Kia for under $21,000. And Family Kia wants your trade-in. No matter what you owe, we'll take it. No matter what it looks like, we want it. And we'll give you up to $5,000 over book value on the spot. So make the most of your hard-earned refund. You earned it. We double it. Take the short drive on I-95 and get double your tax refund this week at Family Kia on US 1 South in St. Augustine. FamilyKia.com.
Double discount applied in the form of dealer discount up to $3,000 total. Offers cannot be combined. Sorrento price excludes tax, tag, and fee. See dealer for details. Expires into this month.
You can afford luxury. You can afford a new Infiniti from Atlantic Infiniti. Now's the time to trade in and trade up. Why wait when you can trade in the vehicle you're driving now and move up to the luxury and performance of an Infiniti? Right now, Atlantic Infiniti is offering higher trade-in values than ever before. Get more for your trade now and get more from life with the luxury and performance of a brand new Infiniti at the one and only Atlantic Infiniti. Call now to get more than ever for your trade-in. 642-0200 or AtlanticInfiniti.com.
3, 2, 1. The countdown to the 50th Daytona Supercross is on. The high-flying, heart-pounding action happens Saturday, March 7th at the World Center of Racing. Get closer to the action than anywhere else on the Monster Energy AMA Supercross circuit as the top racers go bar to bar at Daytona. Don't let another second pass you by. Get tickets and trackside access by calling 1-800-PIT-SHOP or visiting DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
Pop quiz. If you sell a home for $500,000, how much would a traditional real estate agent charge in commission? If you guessed $25,000 to $30,000, you're right. But if you think that's the only way, you're wrong. This is why thousands of homeowners are making the switch to Rex. With Rex, you get a dedicated agent and a full-service experience at a fraction of the cost. Rex uses game-changing technology to cut out the middleman and save homeowners tens of thousands of dollars in fees. See if you qualify by calling 833-REX-HOME. Remember, this is your home. Why give an insane amount of equity away to an agent? Rex offers the lowest fee in the industry without skimping on service. You'll work with an experienced real estate team with you every step of the way. Get the most out of your home. See if you qualify by calling 833-REX-HOME. 833-REX-HOME.
Florida, CQ 1057788.
Minimum fee may apply. Not licensed in all 50 states. Visit RexHomes.com to see if Rex is available in your area. Rex fully supports the principles of the Fair Housing Act and Equal Opportunity Act.
Hey, boss, have you heard? More dirt about the Ding Dong Doorbell Company.
Uh-oh, what is it now?
Get this. Some software engineer for the parent company has called for the immediate and permanent shutdown of the company because of privacy issues.
Whoa, this is huge.
Yeah, you just can't keep track of all the hacking stories. Oh, and they just fired employees for spying on customers.
You realize this is bad news for us crooks, right?
What do you mean, boss?
Think about it. When these Ding Dong Doorbell customers finally get fed up, they could end up going to SafeTouch.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Once folks compare the cheap, unreliable, and vulnerable DIY system to a SafeTouch system,
then we've lost them forever. Boss, we gotta hope this Ding Dong Doorbell Company stops messing up.
Exactly. Because we gotta stick to the Crooks R Us motto. Stay away from SafeTouch houses.
Crooks know to stay away from SafeTouch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of SafeTouch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call SafeTouch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Golick and Wingo.
Jason fits in for Trey with Mike Golick Jr. A new Mel Kiper Jr. mock draft.
When you're hearing Detroit talk about trading Darius Slay, all of a sudden, all the rumor mill's starting to churn now, boy.
Golick and Wingo, weekdays at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jag.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
I like a lot of backs from the. I like watching Saquon, good friend of mine. I like watching all the backs that came through Georgia, doing a great job in their careers. I like watching Alvin Kamara and how they use him, as well as Christian McCaffrey. I think a lot of running backs are doing a lot of different, unique things, and especially a lot of backs here bring a lot of different stuff to the table. So I think a lot of eyes are on the running backs.
That's DeAndre Swift. I think he's got a chance to be pretty special in the NFL. We'll see. It's hit or miss with the running backs often, but he could be a special one out of the University of Georgia. There was a plane going by. I was trying to read. My eyes are going, man. I mean, I need to probably go see an eye doctor. But I mean, that was kind of far away, but I just want to give a shout-out because the plane said, Al and Abby, it's a boy. So congratulations on the little guy.
I didn't see that plane.
Yeah, so they had one of the the planes that dragged the message across.
So was that like one of those gender reveal videos?
That's
I assume
a different way to gender reveal it.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
so
people love that.
If that was a gender reveal,
yeah,
who knew without Al and Abby knowing?
Oh, I'm sure like a mom or a parent, because usually how it works, I think, and don't get it twisted. I don't do the gender reveal things. When I had Ronan, we went to the ultrasound, we saw what was on the screen, and I put 2 and 2 together, and I celebrated, and I fist pumped. Enough said, okay?
Smart guy.
I didn't have to have this big party where we have everybody over, so, but I think the way it works is, if you're a couple, you go to, you go get the ultrasound and everything, and then you tell them, like, hey, we don't want to know, but can you tell, like, our parent or something like that, or some kind of friend? So then they'll contact the friend, let them know, and then they have that information.
They put it in an envelope, and you can either open it or not open it.
Okay.
Did you see the one that with the Cubs yesterday?
Yeah,
I did.
That's good. Was that what's his name? Why can't I? Chris Bryant that hit it?
I'm
or
not.
Was that somebody different?
I'm not sure that.
I mean,
I saw the thing.
I saw it, yeah, and then I saw it was the Cubs. I'm like, that's enough of that. So then I didn't see what it was, yeah.
See, you and Kaylee might have to get into it. She loves the Cubs all of a sudden.
Kaylee, I can't. Why? All of a sudden, where's this coming from?
I don't know. I mean,
Come
it's
on.
weird. Kaylee's the greatest.
Yeah.
Kaylee, she loves. She's the other day. She wouldn't get off the couch. She was watching Tampa and the Yankees spring training.
Okay. I'm not mad at that. I thought you were going to say something like Desperate Housewives. I'm like, oh,
no, she was watching it like it was like Game 6 of the World Series. So. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Oh, by the way, how many Astros have been hit so far in spring training?
7.
Have you seen that?
They lead the league.
Oh,
but
man.
The crazy thing is, listen, don't hit the Astros wearing number 78 on their jersey. I mean, wait until what's his name has been hit? Altuve.
Yeah, he has been hit.
But nobody's hit. None of the 7. I saw all 7 on social media. And I didn't think any of the 7 looked like super intentional, like I'm coming after you. You'll know when it's really intentional.
Yeah. Friend, this is a little sampler platter, okay? This is a little appetizer. Wait till the season starts and then see what happens. We're talking a full course meal.
Absolutely. A couple of comments on social media. JPC 1488 says he was playing behind a bunch of turnstiles. It's amazing he was able to do anything playing with those clowns. Talking about Cam Akers behind Florida State. I think some people interpreted that I didn't that Cam. You had to listen to the segment. If you just read my tweet, you might have thought that I said Cam Akers wasn't any good in college. I didn't mean it by that. I thought he could have been better because they misused him in college.
Yeah.
And therefore, if he finds the right place and they use him right in the NFL, does he have a chance to have a better career than many people think?
Clarifying.
Words don't do it justice.
Yeah.
But Jax Dan jumps in. Great examples. I love when people listen to the show and jump in on the conversations. We always invite you to do so. Stephon Diggs was a huge 5-star recruit, ended up going to Maryland. Remember, they had the whole Florida thing where he was going to be a Florida, went to Maryland. Still put up good numbers, but not huge, mostly due to QB play, and they're Maryland.
Sure.
But has become an NFL star.
Yeah.
Good one. Good. He's
like
got another one for us. Chris Jones. Kansas City DT, another example. Big-time recruit.
Where did he even go to
college? Really hear about
Auburn?
college? Yeah, I don't know. Is Chris Jones an Auburn guy? That's a good call there. Look it up and let me know what you get.
I got you.
Anyway, that's a good couple examples of it. Stephon Diggs, a great call. That's what I was talking about with Cam Akers.
Ooh, Mississippi State.
Ring that bell, but we don't have it here.
And literally, the muscle memory in me was reaching for the bell, and then I remembered that I'm outside at TIA Bank Field right now, not back at the home base at the studio.
Chris Jones, Mississippi State. Interesting. It's so funny how some guys, you know exactly where they went to school.
Yeah.
And others.
Nicely done, Coos.
Sorry, I had to go run. I tripped over the camera.
As you did.
I was going to say, that was like the hardest thing you've done all week.
Easily.
That was a long run for you, Coos.
It was a little much.
Hey, I want to we're going to do something that we are going to start, and why not right now?
Yeah.
Called the MMA Minute.
Yep.
But you got your fight coming up. Seriously wanted to talk a bit about it. It's in a week. You're only going to be with us for a couple of days next week because the fight's in Dallas.
Yeah.
We're still trying to throw together a watch party. I just can't get all the info together yet. I tell you what, it's tricky.
Yep.
We've had a couple of places that wanted to do it,
Yep.
but there are some rules and regulations
Some
with
licensing
UFC
stuff, yeah.
That's really a giant pain in the you-know-what.
Yep. Well, and the last thing we want to do is break the law and then have to, turn over our show to the authorities to try to pay for it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But it's kind of ridiculous at the same time that we can't just buy Fight Pass and watch the fight all together.
I hear you, man. Preaching to the
listen,
choir, Brent.
people, I love you, but you ain't coming over my house. We're going over somebody else's house. Somebody else's bar.
Yeah. You're not going to drink up all Brent Martineau's booze.
How about we just have everyone download the app, and then when we're all at the bar, we all buy it and watch it on our phones separately.
We could do that.
Just like it is. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the 2020 thing to do.
You actually could do that, but we're trying to do a little.
Going to be honest, I'm going to be pretty bummed that's what everybody does, all right? Don't even do that.
Well, are you more bummed than that, or if we have a watch party and 3 people show up?
Oh, that too. Yeah. It'll really put in perspective how many people are actually listening and how many people actually think highly of me. So, yeah.
My dad's coming, so there's at least 3.
Oh, man.
We might have to say free beer.
Yeah.
No, we're not saying that. Not yet, at least. All right, so what's up? What's Driscoll, actually, Coach Driscoll?
Yeah.
He said, hey, ask Austin about the guy that missed weight by 2.5 pounds.
Oh,
I said,
my
that's
man.
fine, but I am not going to say his name.
Davison Figueiredo, by the way. Davison Figueiredo. Yeah, he's from Brazil. So, so here's the thing about him, man. Okay, so obviously UFC Fight Night 169 tomorrow coming to you from Norfolk. There's a title on the line. Joseph Benavidez versus Davison Figueiredo. But here's the thing, though. It was a title fight, right? So the way that works, Brent, is you have to make the title weight. And the title weight was set at 125. Unfortunately, Figueiredo weighed in at 127. So what does that mean? It means the fact that the fight is still going to be on, much to the chagrin of fans, because now if he was to win the fight overweight, he doesn't actually get the belt. So the only way that the belt can actually be won is if Joseph, Benavidez comes out and, wins the fight. So on top of that, he also gets 30% of the purse regardless.
I was going to say, because you take away money, right?
Yeah.
That actually happened in your last fight, I believe.
It did, yes.
You got a little extra cash.
Got a little extra cash, yeah, exactly. So that's kind of the main event. And let's be honest, man, these are 125ers, right? So from the landscape of MMA, to be fair, these guys don't really draw in a lot of ratings just because they're smaller dudes, right? Like, people watch MMA and UFC, especially the casual fans, to see the knockouts, to see the highlights. And unfortunately, I mean, these guys are super talented. And here's the thing if you weigh 125 pounds, Brent, well, you better be technical, right? Like, because there's a lot of guys that weigh that size that are in the UFC. These guys are the cream of the crop right now. So you have to be technical. So these guys are 2 technical guys, and I think everyone's kind of cheering for Joseph here just because he's 35 years old, man. Okay, he's kind of, one could say, on the back nine of his career, never held that championship, and this is kind of like his swan song. People want to see him, win the belt and then right off into the sunset. So that's gonna be the fight, obviously, to watch. And then obviously the co-main event too, featuring a girl that I actually talked to would have been 2 weekends ago in Tallahassee. Her name is Felicia Spencer. Felicia Spencer fights out of Orlando at an MMA place called The Jungle. She fought Chris Cyborg her last fight, which it didn't go her way. Obviously, Chris Cyborg is an animal. Brent, you've seen Chris Cyborg before. She's a very intimidating individual. Not with the UFC anymore. She's now in Bellator. But Felicia Spencer's taking on newcomer, and they're really making it hard for me, this fight card. Zahara
You usually rattle these names off.
Yeah, Zahara Feren dos Santos. Don't really know much about her. She's kind of on the come up right now. A great striker. Felicia Spencer's more of the ground person. She's got a great karate background, but relies more on her jiu-jitsu now. She's a complete fighter. Look for the winner of this fight to maybe get maybe a title shot at 145 against Amanda Nunes.
All right, that is the MMA Minute, which always will last more than a minute, by the way.
I was going to say, what was it, like 5 minutes?
It's just a cool
No, it was like the MMA 5 minute.
How confident are you going into your fight in a week?
I'm super confident. So it's funny, right? Because obviously the fight is at hand, okay? And we're about a week away now. We are a week away now. So, like, it's funny. The old me, especially the me that played football, like, I would be hyped up right now, expelling all my energy, just going over the fight, thinking about it. But I really got into, like, a lot of, like, meditation, I guess you would say. There's this app called Headspace that I love to use. And there's one feature on there, they call it competition. And last night I was doing my meditating for 15 minutes, and they had a great point. And they said, when a tiger or a lion's in the wild, you don't ever see him, like, roar a lot. You don't see him, like, jaw jack too much. They're just kind of relaxed. They just kind of, they lay down in their domain, and then when things escalate and things have to, turn into a fight, they attack. And then that's kind of how I'm approaching this fight, where I'm calm, cool, collected right now, man. I'm going to enjoy this week where I don't have to train 2 days a week and just kind of relax with my family and everything. And then when next Friday comes around, probably around 10 o'clock or so, 10:30, that's when I get to let it loose and attack. So I'm definitely excited for it, man. I can't wait.
That's awesome. Good stuff. I kind of liken that to our radio show with the competition.
Yes,
just
yes.
You know that, all right?
Yeah. I mean,
ESPN 690, we're just trying to make it.
We're just trying to make it.
But
Exactly.
wait until we roar.
Stay out of our domain, okay? Stay in your lane.
Hey, a couple of funny stories to share. We like to do the crazy
The headlines. Hit me with them, Brent.
How about this way? Leap Day is tomorrow, which is Saturday.
Yes.
Throws off the entire calendar, still results in one extra work day this year. So should people on salary get a bonus? 59% of Americans in a new survey said yes. Of course. Why wouldn't 100% say yes?
Who are the – yeah, I can't – well, you said 59%?
Yeah.
Who's the 41% that's snitching on everybody?
59% think people on salary should be paid for the additional day of work. 22% said they shouldn't. 19% weren't sure.
Okay.
Well, that person can't make a decision.
Yeah, exactly.
Does that even add up? Yeah, that does add up the right way. Okay. Man arrested for cow manure battery. 2 guys at a dairy farm in Florida, of course.
So I was going to do
an
Wisconsin.
argument
All right.
on Wednesday.
Okay.
One of them dumped a bucket of cow manure over the other one's head. He was arrested for felony battery.
Is it 2 friends? Or not?
Just says 2 guys.
Okay.
That's all I know.
Okay.
Viral video shows a mom driving her kids to school when she realizes she forgot them at home.
Oh, jeez. Hey, let's put the cell phone down a little bit and focus.
Very good. How about this one? Kuz wasn't sure I can read this. I'm reading it. I'm going for it.
Uh-oh.
Putting potatoes up your butt will not cure hemorrhoids. Doctors warn. Doctors are starting to get very concerned about people who subscribe to a dangerous home remedy touted on numerous websites, which involves that action.
Was this like on the Joe Rogan podcast? Did I miss this one or something? People are doing this now?
That's it. And by the
Brent,
way, last one.
We were doing so good this week, too.
Americans are avoiding Corona beer amid coronavirus outbreaks.
Yeah.
Fines.
Poor
That's
Corona beer, man. Right? You feel bad for him, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
that's funny how the brain works.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
I think that's a subconscious thing.
Of course.
Like,
But
people,
you don't want to be
associated.
associated.
People are that dumb that they really think it's
No,
the
of
coronavirus
course
comes
not.
from the beer.
But
right?
dude, I mean, it's word association, and you don't want to be associated with that right now.
Well,
I guess you got to go with like Dos Equis or something. Yeah, I mean it's like another Mexican beer, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
I just
okay.
never heard it sounded like that.
Dos Equis? What do you
Is
call
that
it?
a Wisconsin thing like Dos Equis?
Oh, okay. maybe it is Dos Equis.
I love it. Hey,
Dos Equis.
Hey,
I don't
Cruz,
know.
Don't you love when the Rhode Island guy makes fun of people talking?
I had no idea what he was trying to say there.
Dos Equis. Is it Dos Equis?
It's Dos Equis.
Okay.
I think it's Dos Equis.
Dude, I've been calling it Dos Equis for. So no one's correcting me on that. What's up, everybody?
Dos Equis, Dos Equis, Corona.
Yeah.
Just give us a buzz. We'll tell you how to sign up as a sponsor. Either way.
Oh, I thought you just give us a buzz. No pun intended.
Oh, there.
Yeah.
That one went over my head.
Yeah, you're good.
We'll be back. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Ballin had fallen to finish off a week here on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Gonna give me some of that
Kuz. That's the most impressive thing Kuz has ever done.
Oh, without a doubt.
Here on the show.
That was very nice.
It's the best use of Star 690 ever.
Listen weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. in your car or stream them. ESPN690.com.
It's a leap year, so leap into savings now at your neighborhood Ace. Wild Delight Birdseed, your choice of 3 blends, just $9.99 each. In colder weather, high-energy suet is an especially good bird food. Now 69 cents per packet at Ace. Fertilome Weed and Feed for St. Augustine grass, just $19.99 per bag. For fertilizers, garden soil, potting mix, mulch, and more, shop your nearby Ace Hardware. Find great deals and the location nearest you at acehardware.com. Sale ends March 2nd.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
It happens only once every 4 years, and it's happening this Saturday. Leap Day 2020, this Saturday, the 29th of February. And what better way to celebrate this rare occasion than with something even more rare at Diamonds Direct. Come and see a special collection of precious diamonds and colored gemstones, and let us help you pick out something they will enjoy every day, but especially on every Leap Day in the future as a reminder of your love. Put this extra day of 2020 to good use and do something truly memorable with a diamond bracelet, a pair of diamond earrings, a sapphire and diamond tennis bracelet, or an exquisite certified diamond. Ask about extra savings and extra financing options on this one extra day of the year. And like with any other day of the year, you can count on Diamonds Direct for the guaranteed lowest price and a free lifetime warranty, one that will cover you for every leap year way into the future. Diamonds Direct. Take the leap and make this Saturday count. Get directions and store hours now at diamondsdirect.com.
Tax problems can be extremely stressful and cause financial devastation. The tax attorneys at J. David Tax Law are right here in Jacksonville to be your personal advocate and resolve your IRS or state sales tax issues. J. David Tax Law focuses on your needs and case outcomes. Don't be fooled by these big out-of-town tax companies that only focus on getting you to sign up and pay without even working with an attorney. At J. David Tax Law, only highly experienced tax attorneys will represent you. Get the help you need with tax debt, payroll taxes, bank levies, wage garnishments, tax liens, and unfiled returns. If you have federal or state sales tax debt, have a sit-down with J. David Tax Law. Your first step is a no-cost consultation. Call J. David Tax Law at 904-507-4777, 904-507-4777. Peace of mind only a click or phone call away, 904-507-4777, or go to jdavidtaxlaw.com.
You earned it. We double it. This week, Family Kia of St. Augustine will double your tax refund. Now, your $500 tax refund is worth $1,000. Your $1,500 tax check doubles to $3,000 towards a brand new Family Kia. And our selection has never been better. Right now, you can own a new 2020 Kia Sorento LX from just $20,999. That's a brand new Kia for under $21,000. And Family Kia wants your trade-in. No matter what you owe, we'll take it. No matter what it looks like, we want it. And we'll give you up to $5,000 over book value on the spot. So make the most of your hard-earned refund. You earned it. We double it. Take the short drive on I-95 and get double your tax refund this week at Family Kia on US 1 South in St. Augustine. FamilyKia.com.
Double discount applied in the form of dealer discount up to $3,000 total. Offers cannot be combined. Sorrento price excludes tax, tag, and fee. See dealer for details. Expires into this month.
The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugats. HQ Trivia officially died over the weekend. Heck of a run, though, right?
Not really. It ascended to the mountaintop and then fell very quickly.
Check out the podcast wherever you get your podcast.
Hi, this is Annika Sorenstam, and I'm a World Golf Hall of Famer, and you're watching Action Sports Jax.
He is the most interesting man in the world.
I don't always drink beer, but when I do, I prefer Dos Equis. Stay thirsty, my friends.
Dos Equis, he said it. Dos Equis.
We did. I was wondering. I didn't know if the person got a response on Twitter with the most interesting man in the world.
Oh, yeah. The guy's not impressed with my Dos Equis.
That was
what
funny.
it is.
Hey, listen, like I said, the last guy that should be making fun of people who talk,
yeah.
I can't even say the word beer.
Listen, when you have the Miller High Life girl tattooed on your back, your vast your vast knowledge of foreign beers isn't really acclimated to what I have, okay? It's Miller Lite, Miller High Life, and the occasional IPA. That's about it for me.
Listen, I also, the way I weighed in this morning,
Yep.
I've been drinking too much of it.
Oh, yeah. Well, Indianapolis will do that to you, man. Too much of that shrimp cocktail.
It's not just Indianapolis. See, the problem is I go back and look at it, and and I was on the road 16 days out of the last 30.
Yep.
The road.
Here come the excuses.
It's
okay,
it's
though.
a terrible excuse. Like, I've got to be better at this.
Yeah, man.
Like, I don't know. I could not do what those other guys do and be fit.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny. It's like if you look at, like, the Rappaports and Jeff Darlington, they're all kind of like
always on the road, man. They're always doing
skinny
something.
little guys.
Well, tiny. I mean, don't be nice. They're tiny. Like, Ian Rappaport is tiny.
Yeah, he's
Adam
really
Schefter, tiny.
Schefter is small. But I give credit. I saw that, like, piece they did on, like, 60 Minutes or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was Real Sports on HBO.
Okay.
On Schefter.
Yep.
That guy, man, he's always working. He works a lot.
Yeah.
And he still finds time to get a workout in.
Sure. Well, Brent,
You got to make time to get
dude,
the workout.
We're creatures of habit. You have to have the discipline. You got to set the schedule, and you have to abide by
But
it,
it's
man.
still
Hold yourself
not the
accountable.
workout. It's not
and
the
here
workout.
and here come the excuses
It's the
again.
eating.
And here come the excuses again.
It doesn't matter if you work out all the time if you don't eat right.
Well, no, but obviously the more you work out, man, the more benefit you can have of eating a little sloppy on the road, man. Because at the end of the day, you have to burn more calories than you take in. Simple as that.
That is simple math.
Yeah.
You know what else is not simple math? The Dow Jones lately. By the way, good news to report. Down less than 400 points today. That's a win. That is a win.
Yeah.
It rallied. It was almost 1,000 down
Yeah.
again, and it rallied.
Hey, CBA, can you fight for my 401k to go up a little more, maybe add a little more to it, please? Because, yeah, it's rough right now.
I was thinking of this, all right? So I kind of looked into the 401k.
Yeah.
And I saw, and I don't get all, I mean, it is what it is. And plus, I'm not
know,
retired.
man.
I'm not retiring.
Hey, I'm 32 years old.
Yeah, I've got a long way to go.
I have a while.
We got the ups and downs to go.
Yes, we do.
So, but I thought about this. Can you imagine the hit Shad Khan's 401k took this week?
Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, I'm trying to imagine.
Like I don't know what
the price
billionaires
would
do.
be.
Like I don't know if they invest.
Yeah.
Like that much, and
Yeah.
like if they. I mean, he has his own company, so
Sure.
I don't know how that works. But you get my idea. Like if you have that much money,
Yep.
and you have money in, you must have a ton of money, like on the stock market.
Of course.
And how much some of those people lost, like this week.
Yeah.
Woo!
But
That's
hey,
incredible.
As Seinfeld has taught us, the market always fluctuates.
It fluctuates,
goes up and it goes down.
it always usually goes up, kids.
Yes.
At the end of the day, if you look at it over the
Yes.
decades, it usually trends. It's trending upward.
Yep.
All the time.
Just don't invest in the robot butcher like George is going to do.
People are
at
like,
the end.
"Hey, should you going to do economics today and politics on Monday?"
Or talk Seinfeld. or talk Seinfeld.
Or just Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Which on occasion I don't get the Seinfeld references.
Oh, dude,
I
it's the
watch it
best
a
show
lot,
ever.
but I did not watch like every episode 20 times over like a lot of people.
I
do.
have, yes, I have.
Ballin' and Fallen, what you got?
Ballin' and Fallen. So Ballin' is going out to my girl. And let me bring up her name. It's been a hard day for names, man, but I should know this
Certainly
girl's
has.
name because she's
And
she's
be
legit.
careful if you say my girl and then don't know her name.
I know. My wife, no. Okay. So it's going out to Oregon basketball player Sabrina Loneskew, who was the first player in D1 history, men's or women's, to score 2K, 1,000 rebounds, and 1,000 assists.
Impressive.
So 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, and 1,000 assists.
It
And
might
the best
be
part,
Ionescu.
Ionescu, thank you very much. I thought it was an L, didn't know if it was an I or an L.
Yeah,
Thank you
that's
very
okay.
much. Ionescu. But did you see the post-game interview when she did it?
I didn't.
You want to talk about someone who just doesn't care? She's like, yeah, I figured that was coming up pretty soon, and that was it. Like, didn't really acknowledge it. Just a stone-cold killer, ice water in her veins, so props to her.
I'm pretty sure. Look it up if you're not sure.
Okay.
But I think Kobe Bryant has been very influential to her.
You're very correct.
And I'm
Yep.
pretty sure she accomplished that on February 24th, which would have been Monday.
Oh, yeah.
So 224.
There you go.
I'm pretty sure.
Because I think they interviewed her, but once again, I mean, she was pretty calm and reserved and just kind of like that stone-cold killer, man.
All right, real quick on the ball for me. You say I see that the NCAA is proposing 2-minute replay limit
For football.
So, yep, make it quick.
I like it. Yeah.
Love it.
Do it.
Just make it quick. If
Yep.
we're going to do the replay, we have lost all what's the word I'm looking for? Rhythm.
Okay, yep.
To games.
Yep.
In general.
Yep.
Because of replay. Because all you people want to get it right.
Oh,
Here
comes you people. Yep.
Just because you want to get it right.
Careful now.
Now we can't even enjoy a game anymore.
Yep.
So make it swift.
I like it.
There it is.
I like it.
Well, I don't know if it's going to get done, but at least they're exploring it.
My Fallen and let's get a little Olivia Newton-John in here. Let's get a little political. We're going to go with you see what I did there? You see where I went with that one?
I knew that. My dad liked Olivia Newton-John.
Okay. I see you, Mr. Martineau. Coos, I don't care. That was gold. You know it. But Ballin is going to, Garth Brooks played in Detroit the past couple of days, played at a concert in Detroit, okay? And sometimes what artists do is they'll cater to the crowd a little bit. Not sure why Garth Brooks had to cater to the Detroit crowd because you're Garth Brooks. But anyways, he rocked a Sanders 20 jersey. Now, if you're a football fan, you know the number, you know the last name of Barry Sanders. Obviously, he's a big deal in terms of Detroit. So Garth Brooks rocking a Barry Sanders jersey, obviously it makes the most sense. However, on social media, country music fans who aren't football fans thought he was trying to campaign for Bernie Sanders 2020. So obviously he was met with some blowback, a lot of, I'm sure, rude comments. And I think him and Bernie Sanders have kind of gone back and forth, right, Brent?
They have. I was trying to find out.
Just in a jokingly manner, obviously.
Yeah, not Bernie, Barry.
Oh, I'm sorry, Barry.
So here's what happened. Barry Sanders said, "Hey, Garth Brooks, want to be my VP? Hashtag number 20 for 2020.
Yeah.
Because he saw all those tweets.
Yep.
And Garth says, "Hey, Barry Sanders, I would run any race with you. Number 20 for 20. Love you, pal."
Yeah.
Gee. I don't know why Garth doesn't say "love you, pal" to me.
Some of the comments that were found in his Instagram, because the best part is he posted a picture of the Barry Sanders jersey, of the back of it, so it says Sanders 20. Robin Reynolds Wakefield said you should have kept politics out of it. I'm done with you.
It's so great.
Oh
I
man,
mean, people. This is how crazy people are about politics. By the way,
Chrissy 59 came in, chimed in a little bit. Obviously, a big Garth Brooks fan. Nothing like supporting a communist. Congratulations on the loss of all your fans. How about going to a successful socialist country and doing some research? Oh, yes, you can't because there aren't.
Hey.
Okay, man.
By the way, at the very least, Garth should be able to make a country song out of
Chrissy,
this.
Barry Sanders, come on. You had to heard of the guy.
Hey, real quick, Brian Jones tweets in and says, we're probably both falling because it's Ionescu, not Ionescu or whatever the heck you said.
Ionescu.
We're falling for our pronunciation. Sorry,
Yep.
Nice job, Brian. You're right, Ionescu. That does sound familiar now. The falling for me real quick, Kuz. I know we got to get out of here. James Harden, you have the sound?
I just know none of them can mess with me. When it's all said and done, they'll appreciate it more. But I wish I could just run and with 7 feet and run and just dunk. Like that takes no skill at all. I got to actually learn how to play basketball and how to have skill. I take that any day.
That was a shot at Giannis, I think. 7 feet, just run and dunk. That's your Bucks.
Hey, I would rather have someone that can run and dunk than flops worse than Manu Ginobili. Okay,
travels on every shot.
It took you skill to learn how to flop every single time and take advantage of the rules. Nah, man, give me Giannis all day. That immigrant mentality. James Harden, stay in your lane.
This is tough for you, by the way, because you're in the bearded club with Harden.
Was. Not anymore, man. I'll shave my beard if I have to in solidarity to Giannis.
Well, you're going to have to do it to survive the coronavirus.
No, that's
true.
No.
Harden versus Lane next Friday night. The bout has been rescheduled in Houston instead of Dallas.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think that dude used to date a Kardashian. That guy's been through a lot. I'm sure he can come through adversity with me. So I don't know, man. Hey, I don't like my chances.
This is great. We got Monster Jam tomorrow. You're bringing the family over. Hope everybody has a good weekend. But just a short time ago, they just left. They actually had the remote control cars out here.
Oh,
it was awesome.
They couldn't get us in the mix for that.
What a playground that is for remote control cars. Here at TIAA Bank. MonsterJam.com if you want some more tickets for tomorrow. There's still some tickets available. They start at $15. And come on, have fun. Hope
I'll tell you what, bro. We do some combine drills out here right now if you want, man.
Yeah, we could.
We could run those tires.
I got to go
quick.
do TV.
Okay.
And we'll have Girls State Championship action from DeLand on CBS 47 and Fox 30. Have a good weekend, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us on ESPN 690.
After a long day, having my dogs meet me at the door with their silly smiles and wagging tails makes me happy. I want to keep that joy with me for years to come. That's why I trust Forever Vets Animal Hospital to keep my pets healthy. Forever Vets was voted 2019's Best Vet in Jacksonville Magazine's Readers Poll, and it's